Right. When we left it last, of course, you had
We're in the middle of the chase.
you were in the middle of a chase, rescuing some of your characters' good old friend, Professor someone or other, who I can't remember his name off right now. Professor Arthur Harmsworth, a professor in ancient civilizations. So, you were at the University of London, and there was a break-in. And as you quite rightly remember, we're mid-chase when we left it. The wolf, by the look of it. Okay. New round.
That's right, there is a wolf.
And Franz is going first. I'll put him on hold because he hasn't AFK at the moment. He's updating, I suspect. So we'll put him on hold. That brings us to Aldous the Wolf.
All right. So he's going to try and catch up here. And not quite sure how to go about that.
Well, obviously, straightforward. You just run flat out with would be athletics with a +2 bonus, which should catch you up.
Right. I didn't know if I had to change my sheet or anything, or if it's me, or that's what I meant. I mean, I know how to.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Shape change thing?
Oh yes, we haven't got the codes, have we? Hang on a second. I bet you I can cheat.
If that's all. I know how to roll, and I know what to roll.
No. I was thinking out loud. That's okay. So if I go into that, but make it private LAN only, then I should be able to start up good old Savage Pathfinder. I've got the shape change module. Actually, probably hack that.
Sorry to start this off slowly.
Hello, Tango. I noticed you subscribed. I hope it's helpful. Unfortunately, as always, technical fun and games will slow things down at the start. And if you can't hear me right now, please let me know, because that was embarrassing last time. We were all talking away. No one could hear us. It's enjoyed. I haven't played Rippers in a long time, so it's good to be doing it again.
Like
and
we had that
I need to update the modules.
Module that there was a thing so I could like drag the effect over from the effects button.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it.
No, because that was purely purely Savage. I think I had, didn't we? Which I've got to find now. Activation. Shape. Do it. One of my players did. Right. Savage Pathfinder shape change. All good. There's the wolf. So if I copy all of that out of there, go into effects here. Create a new effect. Paste all of that in there.
There it is.
Wolf. How long does...
I got it.
Yep. I think it's. What's the time? What's the duration of a shape change?
Usually it's like an hour, but I don't know the rules on this particular.
Oh, it's an innate one, isn't it? So we'll turn it. It's going to be an instant change. There we go. It's an instant change. There we go. Franz, you're on hold because you've got a joker and you can interrupt at any time.
Okay, well, I want to interrupt.
That's academics, Aldous, not athletic.
Oh, whoops. I can't read. It's too small.
Fine, I'll take it anyway. Okay, Franz interrupts. Sorry, it's just the wolf just rolled academics.
Oh.
I just love the idea of a
wolf. Well, his ability to do athletics is pretty academic, right?
Exactly. Oh, right. I like that argument.
Benny's coming.
Interrupt away, sir.
Did you want to telekinesis? I could use telekinesis to move the wagon back 10 feet.
Are you resetting the bennies, or do we get to keep the bennies?
Oh, it's my rules on this is simple. If we end up mid-combat or mid-encounter, you keep your action cards and bennies from the last session. Yeah, but as second this chase ends, it's new. I'll treat it as the start of the new session with new bennies and adventure cards. So in other words, blow all the ones you've got as quick as you can, because you'll be resetting down to 3 at the end of this chase.
Oh, okay.
It's an easier way. I think it makes sense. If it's the middle of an encounter, then we pretend we're still in last session, but as soon as the encounter ends, then we start the new session, if that makes sense. It's an easy way to do things.
Yep.
Yep. So now that the wagon's within range, I'm going to move it back 10 feet.
That would be a post strength check of you versus the horse, won't it? So yeah, okay.
Versus the horse?
Well, the horse.
Telekinesis?
Telekinesis. Well, it's going to be a post strength, isn't it? Because you're going to be trying to pull the wagon backwards, and there's a horse that doesn't want to go backwards attached to it.
Right, but wouldn't it be his mind? I don't know. Would it be his mind versus the horse's strength?
I said the horse's strength, not his strength, and his telekinetic strength anyway.
Gotcha.
All right, I'll try it. Let's see. Nothing ventured, etc., etc.
Exactly. I think the horse might be on the combat tracker. It is. Okay. Go for it. I love the idea of pulling the horse back.
You could just trip the horse
Yeah.
with his own foot, with his own hoof.
For some reason, I'm targeting the wagon, but I need to target the horse, I think.
It shouldn't matter. Oh, yeah, actually, yes, it would do. If you target the horse, then it will do the opposed rolls automatically, won't it? I think I like it. Go for it.
Damn it, I can't target the horse.
We do it for you.
Oh, I know why. Damn it. Don't worry, I'm being silly. There we go.
Untargeted horse.
Yes, baby.
I might be in trouble here.
Oh, wow.
Okay, right. Okay, well, I'm going to say, yeah, okay, I'm going to treat that as a bump. You successfully bump the wagon backwards. Also, the horse has suffered a setback of some description. So basically, the wagon isn't going to get a chance to run away, move this turn. I like it. Nicely done. Right. Now, Aldous, you were interrupted there. So as you come bounding along, the wagon comes back towards you.
Can I move forward, Eddie?
Yes, you can. You get a free athletics check. I apologize. Go for it.
Why does Carl have telekinesis? I'm not following what's happening there. Does Carl have telekinesis these days?
France has telekinesis.
Yeah, but I have telekinesis as well. I don't get it.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure why you've got it as well. Yes, let's be honest. Sorry, I misunderstood.
You're welcome. It was a gift from me. You're welcome.
Thank you, but he just deleted
it. Anyway, yeah, I'm not sure why you had it. Oh, you certainly shouldn't have. I'm going to blame Fantasy Grounds. Okay, Aldous. So as you're running forwards, you suddenly realise you are gaining on the wagon. You are actually on the same square. So you didn't use the +2 bonus on your academics roll. To catch up the wagon, which means you can still perform an action.
Great. Then I will go ahead and I will attack one of the horses.
You're going to attack one of the horses. I shall target the horse for you. There you go.
Isn't there only one horse still alive?
There's only one horse still alive. They successfully cut the other one free, didn't they? Loose, as it were.
That wagon has had better days.
Yes,
so
indeed.
Now I can attack, right?
You can indeed. I think the wagon's in a bad state, isn't it, as well? I think it's very battered.
All right,
no.
And I'm
give a different wagon.
I'm adjacent, right? So I can wild attack here.
Okay, that's a hit upon the horse. I won't get to use my docks map because you managed to catch them before they reached the docks. What a shame. Well, the horse is shaken.
Illegible dice are not as fun to watch.
You re-rolled
That
the damage
horse-
and killed the horse.
Very human cry.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's the end of that. Okay.
Well, no, see, that was the driver screaming, "Ah, you killed my horse!"
Very good. Okay. Tatsuya, you have make a maneuvering check. And you know what it is, basically? You're quite close to the wagon, and all of a sudden the wagon cartwheels, and you find yourself running straight towards a dead horse. Oh, no, you don't.
This is the 5th time this has happened to me.
Okay, I will make a standard athletics check
Okay.
to move forward.
It's you on the same brow.
And I will punch one of these street thugs.
Okay, so you jump up into the wagon, or pull one of them down and punch them. Go for it.
How do you turn a Benny into an adventure card?
You drop the Benny on top of your existing adventure card on the combat tracker. I believe, off the top of my head. That's 2 punches. They both miss.
Shouldn't have been 2 punches, but I am going to roll again.
I mean, they've been the same one anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you know why you've got 2? I don't know why you think
Yeah,
you've got 2.
I've cleared it. I've cleared it.
That's okay.
Wow, I just am not going to punch this guy, am I? Come on.
Don't forget, technically the chase is
Oh, there
almost
we go.
over, so
There we
spend the
go.
bennies. That's a hit with a raise. That's a very dodgy 6, I think, personally, but fair enough. I'll allow it. Very dodgy 6 there, but I'll allow it.
We have somebody to question. You guys can kill the rest now.
That's a fact. No, it didn't register that as non-lethal damage.
Okay. Carl is looking for the professor, and he's going to basically clamber into the wagon. And I guess he's still running. Is that correct? Still running to do all this stuff?
Yes, because basically you still need to catch up to where the wagon stopped, if that makes sense. You got the race. You got the race. That's fine. You're there.
I'm not sure that was accurate.
Oh, doesn't matter. I didn't notice.
Okay. Well,
The chase is over. I don't mind anymore. It's narratively speaking. You got a 20 on your run,
Okay.
even though it's meant to be athletics. I'm happy with that. Who cares?
I did not. I got a 14 on the run, just to be clear, because I had a bonus in there for.
Okay,
Well,
that's
for
okay.
speed,
Still a race. Still a
for
race.
pace. I
It's
don't-
not. I'm ignoring the rules for dramatic purposes. It looks
Okay.
really cool. You go speeding up, jump into the wagon, and what do you do?
I grab the professor and try to calm him down and pull him out of the wagon. So
Okay,
that
okay. Yep, no problem. You
there's
grab
no more
hold of.
chase.
You basically pick up the professor. He's in a slightly dazed state. You suspect he's been slightly drugged, and you'll spend the rest of the turn bringing him off the wagon. That's no problem at all.
Okay.
Brings us to. Whoops! I pressed the button there. I didn't mean
Oh,
to.
sorry.
No. I thought I pressed a different.
it simultaneously.
I accidentally pressed the end turn button. I was trying to press a shortcut button. I pressed the wrong button, so no problem.
Okay.
So, Bartholomew, you're up next, sir.
I'll have my wagon catch up.
Oh, I see. That's 2. Oh well, whatever.
Do I need to make the roll, or will the
Athletics, or athletics, go for it. Or running if you want. If you feel do better on running. I'm seeing as I've set a precedence here. I don't care anymore for this one. That can get you 1 square. So I'm afraid you obviously got lag behind there, but obviously still in range if you want to do anything from range, of course. Oh, of course. Hang on. You're in. You're
in a cab like
in
I
a
am?
cab.
He's in a
Yes,
cab. Why is
I
he rolling
apologise.
athletics?
Yes, I sorry that if you're in the cab, aren't you? So it wouldn't be athletics; it would be the cab driver's riding skill. I do apologise.
He was the smart one that hopped.
There you go. Yeah, he was the smart one. Obviously, the cab driver slows down when you get closer, though, because he doesn't want to get into the carnage and up ahead. But you could lead out the cab, and you could, as you're approaching, and do something if you wish to.
Probably not. Just ready it for next round. Hopefully, rescue the doctor and keep going.
No problem at all. Tommy is here. Brings us to the drivers. So, okay, the driver is obviously going to basically hop down and club this wolf that killed both his horses. Well, definitely one of them. The wolf just dodges out the way. Street Front number 3 is going to basically attempt to stop Carl removing the professor by giving him a bonk on the head. Unfortunately, that does seem to connect. But Carl dodges at the last second, possibly using the professor as a shield. Okay. We will never know. And that brings us to club number 1. He is basically going to have a go at Tua, I should say. I'm going to have name problems again. I can tell. Oh, that's a miss. And that is it. Okay, at which point, I think the rest of you will be able to catch up. I'm not any way to stop that animation moving. So, basically speaking, you have up. At which point, we're seeing the rest of you come piling in. The rest of them, seeing as the rest of you come piling in, they decide now's a good time to do a runner. They abandon the wagon and move on a square. But it's up to you if you want to give chase or you just want to look after the professor. You have, as you say, you've got one knocked out. So, what's the plan?
I'll get yelled at from, I better not see you again. Well, there will be consequences.
Okay, you're quick. You give chase of 6 rounds, vanish from something in the alley. Okay, you're successful to chase it. Might not make it. Okay, so congratulations, you have rescued the professor. Can this image, which would be road chase that one. Okay. Once you basically the professor, you rescue the professor. He's still drugged and he's really not with it. But
anybody have smelling salts?
Not with me. I don't think most of us were planning for combat tonight.
It's meant to be a nice quiet dinner, wasn't it?
But I'll give him a once over and check him out.
He seems fine, just basically a bit doped up. Other than that, all seems good.
What trait would it use to defeat the the doping?
Oh, he'll just recover. It's just time. It'll just take a bit of time for it to get out of his system. Be fine.
I know, but do I have a guess? Would it be spirits?
I think spirit seems reasonable. Spirit seems reasonable, yeah.
Or vigor?
It's already inside. It's already affected him. So let's say it's spirits to. I'm going to say spirits to get his wits back. Vigor if he'd just been dosed, but now I'd say it's spirits.
Okay. I will help him with the power of psychology. I'm going to use boost trait on him.
Okie dokie. Well, congratulations, you have rescued the professor. As to why he was captured or anything like that, you have no idea. If you are questioning the one you beat up, he pretty much gives you the same information that you got before they were hired. Where was the information? They were hired by Freddie Marcham, weren't they? They were supposed to nab the prof while making it look like a snap, mash, and grab. They were supposed to get him down to the docks, is all you know. That's where they were headed when you interrupted them.
Aha. I pull out some powders, mix something together, and wave it under his nose.
Okey-dokey.
Using the neutralize poison part of healing.
Okay, sounds good to me. All good. Well, yes, you quickly are able to bring him back to his senses. As I say, it is probably a good time to get the professor away from here.
We're already in my cabin leaving, I said.
That's okay. I apologise. I'm not here. I've obviously got hearing issues today. Well, that is the absolute end of the. Seems to be the end of the vanishing professor, as people would start calling it if he'd gone. But over the next week or so, it becomes apparent that while the Professor Harmsworth was rescued by yourselves, a number of other Egyptologists from various academic institutions around the world have gone missing. It's like someone was abducting Egyptologists. But that's by the by. For now, I'm just going to say congratulations, having completed your first admission and preventing the abduction of the professor. I'm going to award you all in advance. Nice like that. We are indeed.
You have an advance.
Okay.
What is the advance?
He said adventure cards. He set bennies.
One advance. And then sheet. That doesn't look good. Eeks. How do you? Okay.
It didn't automatically add my planned advance. I wonder why.
I don't know why. You did have one plan, didn't you? Yeah. As the planned advances. No, the
And
advances
it didn't do it for me either, I think.
Actually, yeah.
No, I think I did it manually. I moved something up. I'm not sure it took the advance away. I still have an advance listed.
I'm not actually seeing any of your advances, which is a bit worrying.
In Carl or somebody else? Oh, I have planned advances.
No, that's absolutely fine. I suspect I'll have to do a bit more checking. I can't see any of your advances at all, which is interesting. But that makes me wonder if the advanced extension's broken again and needs a fix. So you might just have to manually move your advance up and possibly delete it if it isn't cleaning it.
Okay.
And hopefully
I have to do it by myself.
And hopefully, I'll do some more testing once it's, Shulhelm's pretty good at usually fixing it. So once he's fixed it, it should automatically work again. But until then, looks like you have to do it manually. Oh, sorry about that one. Okay. What happened on the 11th? Okay. So the following week, along with the information about the Egyptologists going missing. The lowest ever recorded UK temperature at minus 17 degrees Fahrenheit is recorded in Braemar in Aberdeenshire. Also in the same week, the importance of being earnest is first shown at St James's Theatre. There we go. We, however, are moving on. And
That's wild.
Is that flavor or is that part of our mystery?
who knows?
Anybody know what that play is about?
The importance of being earnest.
Handbag
Yes.
is all I ever know. I have seen it. I know I've seen the film years ago, but it's all I ever remember is the handbag.
What I
Anyway.
remember is that Your Majesty is like a stream of bat's piss.
That's an
It was one of
interesting one.
Wilde's.
Yeah.
Did you remember that sketch?
Uh,
Monty Python sketch?
that's not. Oh, I've seen some
Oh,
typos already.
no.
You'll have to send me a reminding link. So let's get rid of Aldous' shape change. Put it back to being Aldous. Let's get rid of everyone's boosts, phones, and everything. It's Monday. Saying Sunday should have been Monday. Again. Let's try that again. There we go. It is Monday, the 18th of February, 1895. Not that we care about these things, but if you're interested, the moon's phase is morning crescent. I really don't think you need to worry about that. I've just mentioned it for interest's sake. And yeah, basically, the day starts with obviously you're still at the main lodge in London. Obviously, should you feel the need when you're more experienced, i.e. seasoned, you can, of course, set up your own lodge.
Whose lodge are we at?
We're at the main Ripper's Lodge. We're kind of
In
couch
Van-
surfing right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
couch surfing at the Van Helsing Lodge in London. These days,
Oh,
Mina,
right.
Mina Harker is the leader of the Rippers, so she'd be in charge of the lodge. But yeah, bit of both. This is obviously I've gone through the whole module and upgraded its suede. Also because
Did the professor have any idea who was trying to kidnap him or why?
none at all. Also because obviously Fancy Grounds, they've updated stuff. No, I can now use reference modules and everything else. So that's pretty much it. It's just a whole
What was the
refresh.
location of the low temperature again? Something Devonshire?
It should be in your calendar if yourself. I think you should be able to look. If you look on the Monday, the 11th of February, can you see the look? If you click on the calendar, can you see on Monday, the 11th of February? Can you, if you click on it and click a log entry, it should show you. But it was Braemar and up in Aberdeenshire, up in Scotland.
Got it. Yeah. I
Out
can
of
see the
interest, I do believe we actually that temperature was finally beaten this year. I think, or maybe it might have been December, but I think that temperature's finally been beaten in the UK. But it was set in 1895. But anyway, as I say,
Is that also related to the adventure?
not the fact that in 2023 or 2024, I can't remember which, I think we finally beat that record. But anyway, no, but what is related to the adventure is the following Monday morning, basically, you're informed that you requested to go and to visit a Professor James Hawthorne at the Natural History Museum. He's contacted the lodge and requested assistance. He's a known supporter of the Ripper Society, having dealt with unusualness in the past. So you being the just a social visit at the museum to gather more information and investigate what is believed to be a minor incident is definitely something they send the rookies on. So you're ordered to attend Professor James Hawthorne at the Natural History Museum this morning.
Oh, Carl chomps down his breakfast, gulps down his breakfast, is ready to go.
No problem. You will arrive at the museum at 10:30, but any preparations you want to do before that, by all means, do now. Likewise, obviously that gives you a couple of hours, so you possibly can, if you want to change any equipment, buy some equipment, or at least see if you can get hold of some. Otherwise, we shall move the story forward to Natural History Museum.
Carl will grab another throwing knife. Oops. Where's that? Well, I can't even add it. Oh. How do I? My throwing knife says 1 of 1, and I try to make it 2, so it won't go to 2. I guess I just have to edit it. I guess I edit it. Try that.
Legit. I'm updating the calendar as well. 18th February 1995, Natural History Museum. Okay. Obviously, you reach the Natural History Museum. You explain you got an appointment with Professor James Hawthorne, and you're escorted through the museum to his office. When you arrive, after a quick round of introductions, the professor starts. Thank you for attending so quickly, the professor says warmly, shaking each of you by hand. I apologize for not revealing more as to the nature of my summons, but what I have to say should not, indeed cannot, be put to paper. He gestures to comfortable-looking chairs as he takes a seat behind a cluttered desk. Assuming you all sit down, he continues. As you may know, the London streets are awash with swarms of rats. I may be responsible for this unfortunate plague. He steeples his hands. Oh, yes, I forgot to mention that. He steeples his hands and pauses as if he's searching for the best way on how to proceed. Last month, I was discussing the problem of rats in general found here in London and their unfortunate nature as disease carriers. I made a passing remark, a jest, if you will, to my fellow clubbers that the matter could easily be resolved if we could find a basilisk. For rats are greatly afraid of them. 10 days ago, a small box arrived at my office. Inside, snugly secured within a bed of straw, was a large egg, upon which was written a single word: basilisk. Naturally, I was highly suspicious, for as a man of science, I put no faith in the tales of the ancients, but curiosity bade me to incubate the egg and see what manner of creature hatched. I ordered my assistant to place the egg in the basement near the museum's boilers to keep a watchful eye on it. Yesterday, I went to check on my assistant's progress, only to find him dead and without a mark upon him. The egg had hatched, but of the creature within there was no sign. I've spent the time since wondering how best to proceed. The situation is growing worse, and talk of a monster is spreading. Just the other day, one of my colleagues remarked that he overheard the keeper of the King's Head Inn telling customers he had seen a monster in his courtyard, and I know for a fact the story regarding the handsome cab horse is a lie intended to avoid panic. May I count on your services and your discretion?
Absolutely, Carl said.
Yeah, it's
we are,
good.
We are known for our discretion.
Yeah, it's really fun. Yeah.
Now's a chance to ask any questions if you have them.
How did your colleague? How did your assistant die?
I really have no idea. As I say, I just found him lying dead upon the floor without a single mark upon his body.
Legendarily speaking, what is it the basilisk can do?
That's what I was wondering. Is it stone? I thought it was stone.
It's a sort of snake with a crest like a rooster. According to the ancients, it kills a man with a single glance. It's also extremely venomous. One bite is enough to guarantee death. One legend says that a basilisk can be hatched from an egg laid by a cockerel. A physical impossibility, one might think, but the evidence is showing otherwise.
What is a cockerel? Is that a real creature? Or is that another
It's
fantastic?
a male. Yeah, it's a male.
Male
rooster,
chicken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Male chicken.
The male,
It's a what?
Male chicken.
A cockerel is a male chicken.
Yeah, cock-a-doodle-doo.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
rooster.
I always heard that it had to be laid on a rooftop, and if it rolled to the seaward side, it became a basilisk. Did this egg look like a chicken egg?
There you go. That possibility occurred to me at first. I thought the egg was a joke, a present from a fellow plumber who sought to amuse himself at my expense. I cross-referenced it against every animal and bird sample and drawing we have on record, and nothing came close. I also considered the possibility it was a cunning forgery, but could find no evidence to confirm that. Everything about it looked and felt like an actual egg from a living creature.
Mhm.
Yeah. Did you send your assistant to the hospital? Yeah. Did you get
Yes.
any kind of
Poor
follow-up?
Simon. Being unwilling to go to the police, who might think me insane, I put the boy's body into one of our chilled storage areas to stave off decomposition until I decided how to proceed. He's downstairs if you wish to examine him.
Aha!
Take care of
I
that.
knew he would get to examine the body. It is one of the tropes.
I like the way that assistant died, and only then, after the assistant died, did the situation get worse. It's like, how did it get worse? He
So,
died
so
again.
long as you know what your worth is, that's the important part, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well, now we know what our worth is. So let's help the professor and regain our self-worth.
Now, but there's an interesting. I think I forgot because of the chase. I don't know what that's about. The horse. Intrigued. I can't remember what that was about the horse.
Could the professor first show us where he found the assistant dead and where he was incubating the egg?
He could certainly do that. Yes. He was talking about a story of
Assistant's
something about the
progress.
horse. Yeah.
I mean, if it's just the lab to the
It's-
basement.
Yeah. Okay, so you could either go to. Do you want to go to the egg or do you want to go to Simon's body first?
Let's go to the basement location first, just to see what the situation was when the body was found, where the body was found.
Let's make it nice and democratic. There you go.
Egg first.
So, yeah, tick for egg, cross for body. Blank for abstaining. Well, it looks like 2 for egg. Okay. So the shattered remains. Gosh, it's okay. Abstaining's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. The shattered remains of the egg are located in the basement. Hawthorne explains that aside from dragging Simon's body out, he has avoided going back in there and kept the door locked. No, he also explains how no one visits the basement much, and so far the locked door has gone unnoticed. He unlocks the door, allowing you access. And he says that the remains of the egg lie on a nest of straw near a steam pipe.
On a nest of straw near a what?
Steam pipe.
Steam pipe.
Oh,
Keep
steam
it
pipe.
warm.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Bring out the torch to see, or is there a light switch? There must be a light switch.
There'll be a gas light, yes.
Okay. And start look to the professor for a direction for where he found the body, so we can at least head that direction.
Well, as I say, the body was found by the nest and the steam pipe, because obviously Simon's job was to keep an eye on the egg.
Okay. So look for the nest.
Okay, well, the nest is exactly where Professor Hawthorne said it would be. It's in a straw nest next to the steam pipe for heat. And to say the egg is in a number of fragmented pieces.
Carl is going to investigate and see if he can track down any additional fragments or any tracks or trace of a creature. So
That would be a survival check for tracking.
Going to search
survival.
the area just for general
Well,
information.
survival.
Survival for tracking,
Oh,
notice for searching.
I got a 4, so I don't have survival. Notice for what? For searching?
I was searching.
Searching.
I did the search
Yeah.
roll. Someone else wants to. But if you're doing the tracking, you're doing the tracking.
Oh, well.
Okay, so tracking wise, you don't find anything. So Bartholomew, you searching around the place, you don't find anything. You don't find any interesting items or tracks as such. However, you do find a sewer grate in the corner of the room that's been covered with an old tarpaulin. So the actual sewer grate itself measures a foot square and is blocked off by rusty iron bars set 3 inches apart, firmly anchored in place. You got the raise on the check there, so that means that even with the penalties, you notice that the rust between 2 of the bars has been brushed away as if something squeezed through the gap.
How big is the gap?
Try and
Inches.
figure out how big of a thing it was.
Well, the bars are 3 inches, spaced 3 inches apart. So if something squeezed through, it squeezed through, but it fit. So whatever it was fit through a 3-inch gap, but at the same time was still tight enough for it to actually, disturb the rust on the 2 bars it squeezed between. The professor explains that obviously it's a bit harder to see in its broken state, but if we were to piece the fragments back together, it would reveal the egg measured about a foot long, but was narrower than that of an ostrich egg or anything similar. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling. By the grave, the stern decorum of the countenance it wore, though thy crest be shorn and shaven thou, I said thou art no craven, ghastly grim and ancient raven from the nighty shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore, quoth the raven, the bennies must flow.
Nice.
Thank you, Tavis.
Thank you.
If you want to see a better translation of that yourselves, obviously it's in Steaming Chat. Obviously, if you look in Streaming Chat, you can see how I think I'm mangled. But anyway, as I say, I don't think anyone no one's well travelled and been to Africa or Australia, are they? So they wouldn't have necessarily seen ostrich or emu eggs, but I believe so. You'll just have to take the professor's word for it.
Alright, that seems to be everything here, so we'll go head off to check the body.
I
Simon's
asked the
body.
professor, do you know where this grating leads to? is that just a drain, or what is the grate? You said it's a foot by a foot.
Yeah, it's a sewer grate. With apologies to Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, it would have gone down to the sewers.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay, as instructed, Hawthorne takes you to the body of his late assistant. The boy lies on a metal table, naked save for a small cloth covering his manhood. A cursory examination quickly reveals no obvious sign of injury. The only oddity
Professor?
is the look of absolute frozen terror on his face.
Professor, is this how you found him, unclothed?
No, I don't believe it would have been. I imagine.
Okay. He was just trying to figure out how the guy
Yeah.
died.
Exactly. If anyone wishes to examine the body, of course, you can make. You can either make smarts checks or science checks or medical checks or any other skill that you can give me a reason you think was valid in this situation.
Going full science.
Okay, using your knowledge of biology and chemistry and all that, you examined. You are completely at a loss to determine any medical reason for his death, Carl.
I want to make a science roll, but I want to make a weird science roll.
Okie dokie.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, examining him, in your opinion, there doesn't appear to be any indications of any unusual connections with ether flows or any other unusual, non-standard what's the word I'm looking emanations. You're unable to find anything like that.
I'm glad that Emin ended with Asians.
Can Carl look at the student's eyes more closely?
Sure,
Since he seems
certainly.
to be wide-eyed.
Yeah.
Would that be notice or science or?
Notice if you're just trying to look for anything.
Okay.
Yeah, there is a belief that if you look into a man's eyes,
You see the last thing.
a dead man's
yes.
eyes, you see the last thing he saw before he
Indeed.
died, and I would not recommend doing that.
Too late. Carl can't help himself.
Cole's having a look. Well, you'll find yourself staring into the dead lad's eyes. I mean, for want of a better thing, I mean, all that your scientific and weird science and noticing your notice checks come to is it's almost like died of fright.
So, Kev,
Okay.
are we not following the Oingo Boingo rule?
Sorry,
We're not following the Oingo Boingo rule?
what's the oinga boinga rule?
Whenever you use the weird science skill, you have to sing the song.
I have that rule.
Weird science.
I don't. I got the I got the reference. I just hadn't heard the rule before. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Either that or you have to wear bras on your head. From the
It's a
movie.
long.
I'm
It's a
sorry.
long time. It's a long time since I've seen that film. Now I'm gonna have to watch it again. I did finish watching a film earlier that has a classic. Oh, it's not the very final line, but it's almost the final line. It's a classic movie, Crow. I'm having an old friend for dinner.
Hannibal.
Actually, Silence of the Lambs, but yeah, Hannibal says it, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched Red Dragon and I've watched Silence of the Lambs again. So, just good two films. Silence of the Lambs is definitely the better film. Anyway,
Okay.
what's your plans? Where do you want to head?
Did we, when we were examining the basilisk area, did we see footprints or paw prints, or was it more
Didn't
of a
find
slithering?
you didn't
track?
find anything.
We didn't find anything. Okay.
You didn't find any tracks at all.
Well, do we update the professor on our almost no findings? that it escaped, and that's about it. Escaped down the sewers.
Have
Or
anything
we
to
could just
update
go
him
down
with?
the sewer and deal with it.
Yes.
Or he did make the professor did make a reference to I've lost it myself now. An overheard conversation in the King's Head Inn about the keeper, the barkeeper at the King's Head Inn telling customers he'd seen a monster in his courtyard.
Right. Okay. I think that's our next
Where
case
is
of
this King's Head Inn compared to here?
Ah, well, that's a good question, and I know the answer to that. Where is the turn left? Turn left out of the museum and head towards Knightbridge, about half a mile from here. I do not know the full details, but the landlord seemed keen to relate his tale. I imagine questioning would not take much effort on your part. Also, it should be pointed out while I remember, obviously you do have your map of London. If you click on images, you should see the shared map of London. I've also updated it to give you I couldn't get a very good quality one, and the text is a bit hard to read, but I have also got hold of you at great expense an 1895 London Underground tube map.
Oh.
I love the fact someone's obviously taken the modern tube map and then they've done every single year. So although it's a modern tube map with modern tube stations, that is the extent of the London Underground in 1895. I thought it was rather appropriate to let you guys have that. So you can use the Underground to move around if you want to, of course. There you go.
Only half a mile.
In 1982 font, no less. They put the year. I mean, that's very 8-bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, to actually get the proper one, I'd have to spend 45 quid, and so I figured that was easier.
Where do we find the other assets, the old assets?
Images.
Images.
They're
Thank
mapped.
you. Okay.
You don't need
I
the
don't
opium
even
demo.
know. So,
King's Head Inn. Well, why don't we head to King's Head Inn? It's still morning, right?
Indeed.
did you just say, why don't we head into King's? Head in?
King's Head Inn.
King's Head in?
Sure.
King's?
That's where the Benny.
I was toying with it being an anti.
Benny.
To be honest, I was toying with it being an anti-Benny, but I don't think it's. I shall award a Benny. It's terrible.
Okay, off we go, right?
Of this. Where's King's Head in?
Oh, actually, before we leave,
Turn right and go down about half a mile.
before we leave, I want to ask the professor if we could look at the package the egg arrived in. Does he still have the package?
That's a good question. He goes, oh, if only I knew. I kept the box, but must have mislaid it temporarily. Martha, have you seen that blasted box? Well, I shall endeavour to track it down I shall endeavour to find it while you track down the creature.
Okay. Good enough.
The active thing is return addresses in the Victorian eras.
Catch that.
And the packaging must have been really good.
But anyway, yeah. So it's you head towards Knightbridge, half a mile down the road from the museum is the King's Head. So, if anyone wishes to make a common knowledge check, you might know something about it.
Oh boy.
Or you can just turn up there. It's not... The King's Head Inn is a tavern that caters mostly to respectable citizens. Its clientele comprises mainly lower middle class clerks and upper lower class shop owners. So yeah, it's obviously it's not a dive or anything like that. It's a sort of respectable citizens pub.
The neighborhood pub.
Indeed.
Okay. Sounds like a good place to
Yeah, the
a
landlord,
drink.
Bert Jacobs, is a middle-aged man with a portly stomach and thinning hair badly combed over to cover his face. I ran out of breath halfway through that.
Well, what's his name again? Something Jacobs?
Bert Jacobs.
Bert. We heard a
Hey, Bert.
we heard a rumor that you had seen some creature recently. Could you
Indeed.
tell us where you saw it?
Well, as I say, as you approach, he's acknowledging a group in front of you, and then he turns to you. It's like, "Welcome to the King's Head, gentlemen." Slightly slurred. How might I serve you today? And then obviously you say what you said. He scowls as you say that. And you notice a few, as you say it, around a few people around the bar start smirking. You get the distinct impression that Jacobs has become sort of and there's a chagrin face look on his face. He's obviously regretting ever telling the tale in the first place, and you already hear people going, "Ha, yeah, but tell us the story of the monster." And then they sort of make.
Well, Carl.
Then they make. He's obviously drunk. He was obviously drunk at the time. Signage with their hands as if obviously drinking a lot of beer.
Well, Carl
Carl
sidles up.
Yep, go for it. Sorry.
Carl sidles up to him and sort of puts his arm around him and turns him in a direction other than the direction of the bar, and points him at the courtyard and starts asking, "Well, we really heard that you saw something in the courtyard. If you just wouldn't mind entertaining us, we'd love to see what you were, imagining or seeing or, telling people about." And we point him at his courtyard.
How persuasive are you?
Quite persuasive. Let's see. Oof. I better
Other
spend on
people
that
can
one.
assist you, of course.
Kev, as he does that, I'm going to cast mind reading, and
Okay.
I'm gonna bet you that persuasion.
Hold fire. I was going to say there's a +1 there. So you've got a 6 at the
I was gonna
moment.
say, Aldous just try to help him. there.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a 6 at the moment. That's a raise. That's a +2. That's a 7. Anyone else want to help to try get Cole that raise? That ever so helpful raise to move him those two steps down the table.
Or move him the other way.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Okay, so you basically.
Okay, I have to point out at this point that these are the new dice. I've had them for about 2 weeks now, and they've rolled crap for me ever since I bought them. So it's not new dice gives you good rolls. Just to kind of throw that out there.
Oh, but are they the blood dice? Because if they're not the blood dice, I haven't noticed it for anything except the blood dice that seem to be obscenely good rolls when you first buy them. There was a dice jail extension a while back. The other trick, of course, is you could type in something to roll a couple of hundred dice in one go to move the random number generator on. But anyway, no, it looks like Bert's not going to be very helpful here. I'm afraid you may have to. So I didn't catch that.
Look,
what's he thinking about? I cast mind reading while he was having that conversation with.
Oh, basically, he's regretting ever telling the story. He's been branded a drunkard and a downright liar by other members, less inclined to mince their words. He's become something of a local joke, and each time he steps onto the street, someone taunts him. Therefore, he's basically no longer wants to tell the truth. Yep. Oh, intimidation time. Go
enough.
Enough.
There is information we need from you. We need to determine if you are accurate in your description of it or not. We are not here to jest. We are not here to fun. We are not here on a luck. Do I look like someone who is out on a luck? No. My time is important. I have things that are more important, but I am here. So obviously, this is important. Now, you all have your laugh, but please be aware that there may very well be a very dangerous Egyptian spitting cobra. Do not look at it. It will spit in your eyes and blind you permanently. Now, please give us the description of what you saw, so we may determine if it is this Egyptian spitting cobra that may be loose in the area. Any questions? I kind of glare at everybody else that's poking fun at him.
I will turn to him and using the mind reading say, yeah, why don't you tell us exactly what you saw? And supposedly I success allows a character to gain one truthful answer from the subject.
I'll allow that. Obviously, basically, but basically looks at all of you and says, "No." While saying this, he sort of basically glances to a back room. He goes, "No, I refuse to. It was a stupid tale. It was a tall tale I told for amusement and purposes. But it's not worth telling anymore." Again, his eyes look meaningfully at the empty room, the empty room off to the side. And then he goes back and says, "No, you must excuse me. I must continue serving drinks." And just as he goes again, this time he sort of ticks his head towards the empty room at the back, and then mouths the word 5 minutes.
We'll go wait in the empty room.
Yeah. Empty room.
Obviously, he does a round of drinks, gets some serving going. He manages also to encourage someone to start a sing-song on the piano, and then he comes in.
I'll have a good dog here while he's serving.
Yeah. He as he walks in, he's obviously quite concerned and anxious, and says, "Look, just promise me you won't go spreading this around. Enough harm has been done already." He pours himself a large drink, drowns half of it, looks around furtively as if to ensure no one's eavesdropping, and then quietly continues. "It happened the night before yesterday. I was rolling an empty barrel into the backyard when I noticed the gates were open. Likely the delivery man forgot to shut them, but knowing that some folk can't resist temptation and want to get a free few samples, I walked over to shut them." Excuse me. As I did, I heard a snarling and snuffling like a dog would make, but it wasn't any dog, as lurked without, but the devil himself. There isn't much light in the alley, but I saw its eyes reflected in the light from my back doorway. All yellow and gleaming they were with malicious intent. I reckon it was old Nick himself, hunched down when I first saw him, because he straightened up and looked down at me. He must have been 7 feet tall if it was an inch. Twigs again from the glass. And then I heard the devil's pitchfork a tapping on the ground. Click, click, click. Ah, you may smile and think me mad, but if you've never smelt the stench of death that followed that devil, like a charnel pit it was. Well, I don't mind saying that I turned my back to the inn quick as smart without daring look behind me. Guess the devil didn't want me that night, for otherwise who'd be telling you the story?
So the eyes rose from the ground to 7 feet tall?
That's what he claims.
Okay. Thank you very much. Was there any other, did you have an outline or profile of this person or creature?
As I say, it was the devil himself, even tapping his pitchfork in the darkness. The stench of death all around him.
Right. I give him a gratuity for his information and ask him to let us out into the backyard.
Has he been back out into the courtyard since?
That's a very good question. No, he basically says, "You couldn't get me back out there. If you paid me.
Well, Carl asks if he wouldn't mind letting us into the courtyard.
Go look.
And
Oh,
I-
that should have been. That should. I've got the story. That should not have been. Go look for yourselves. That should have been Bert going. Go look for yourselves. That basically allows you to pointing to the rear as he walks back into the bar.
Okay. Off we go. Looking for the gate that he was talking about, just to get bearings and see.
I don't. Yeah. Basically, as you walk into the courtyard, stacks of barrels line the walls, leaving a wide avenue leading to the rear gates. They are still open, as Jacobs has not been near them since the encounter, even in daylight.
Okay.
All right, try and figure out where he's, from his description, where he's talking about.
Well, he said he heard the noise out by the gates, didn't he? So you assume he was on. Well, he said he was on the,
Yeah.
on the street behind.
Notice
Uh,
for prints or tracks or slithering.
Well, as I say, tracking is survival, but obviously it's a notice check if you're just looking for stuff. So notice is absolutely fine. If anybody else wants to track or notice, that's fine. Right. Searching the area. Basically, you. Okay. Right. Well, that's going to be. I know how to deal with that one perfectly. So.
Perfect.
As you're searching, basically, as you look around the area, as you look out, so searching the area, there's the courtyard adjoins onto an alley. So basically, as you're moving around, Carl and Bartholomew, you both notice a sewer access grate. A sewer access covering just down the street. It's been moved aside, you notice. Also, Bartholomew, you got the raise. You notice something interesting just as Aldous discovers it by treading in it. And so, as Aldous, you discover the pungent odour of the animal dung you've just trodden in.
Lovely.
Is the
At least
smell
it doesn't come to life.
is the smell of death, or is it just stinky?
It appears to be animal dung.
Okay. Is there any smell of death still lingering?
Not that, well, other than the smell of the sewer and the pungent smell of the dung that Aldous has just released into the air. Not a lot.
Carla's going to investigate the grate. Is it the same foot by foot, 3-inch style grate as the Museum of Natural History?
This is a circular, almost like a circular manhole cover. Well, it is a circular manhole cover.
Oh, okay. And is there any? Well, I guess we didn't find any signs of slithering or anything. Any sign of size? From
Aldous was trying to track when he trod in the animal dung.
Okay.
I will take a sample of that.
That can be. You can make a survival or notice check to examine the dung.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
Survival unmodified or notice is at -2.
What's brown and sounds like a bell?
I don't know what is brown and smells like a bell.
Dung.
Oh, yeah.
That's better than what's brown. What's brown and sticky?
A
That's
stick.
stick. That's a ridiculously awesome joke. I like it. Okay. You've got some of the dung. Yep.
What's green and smells like Miss Piggy? Oh, forget it.
yeah, we're not doing that one here, no. Okie dokie. Does anyone else want to try and examine it? Obviously, you can send it back to the. Obviously, you don't have to solve everything in one day. You can go back to the. You can go back to your lodge. And you have scientific stuff there, and there's even obviously being a bigger lodge, you've probably even got some people that can analyze stuff for you. You could possibly also, thinking about it, you could also have Simonson. But it's probably better to sort of report him to the police and let them produce an autopsy. But it will take 24 hours for an autopsy report to come back on Simon's body.
Now, where on the map of London, where are we?
You're going on the map of London. Where's the map of London? You're near Knightsbridge.
Well, before we leave...
Oh, look, there's the Natural History Museum. So you'll be on the Cromwell Road.
Before we leave the pub,
Mhm.
Carl wants to do a scan up to like 8 feet, looking for, in the courtyard, looking for any holes or egress that a slithering creature might use. So into the building, another sewer or something, drain pipe it could have climbed up or crawled inside. Anything of that sort.
Well, as I say, basically stacks of barrels line the four walls of the courtyard, leaving just a wide avenue down the middle towards the rear gates. Therefore...
Okay, and some of those barrels were open?
No, they're beer barrels. They'll all be they'll be sealed up, won't they? Some will be empty and some will be full. Be interesting to see what happens when they run out of beer back in the pub, because if he's not here to refill, it could get interesting.
Yeah. Okay, are there any barrels that seem out of place, by any chance?
Nothing apparent. No, they're big and heavy barrels.
Okay, good enough. Is there any? Carl's going to look 8 feet above the barrels too, on the assumption that whatever it is could climb on a barrel. Is there any ladders or fire escapes or anything like that with any, and then that are worth investigating?
No, nothing. No.
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
Was there something to climb at the 8 feet, like slithering, like a light pole or?
Yeah, that's another one.
Something like that, and then I forget. Did you say it moved the grate or it got out through the grate?
Moved the grate. Moved the pipe. It was a cover.
The cover has been moved, so obviously it's open, allowing as if. However, whether it was, there is no, it would be impossible to tell if it was opened at street level or open from below.
Is this a full-size manhole cover? I don't know what they were like back then.
I'm assuming it's going to be a full-size manhole cover, yes.
Our next lead is to go into the sewer and just see if we can find anything there. So Carl,
there's something interesting there's something really interesting, and there is no reference other than that comment that that must be, I can't believe we made that mistake. There's no reference to it other than the throwaway line that the professor made about the hansom cab horse.
I know what that is.
I know for a fact the story regarding the hansom cab horse is a lie intended to avoid panic.
Oh, right.
But I can't. I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah.
There's no distraction related to that. There's no misdirection related to that.
No. However, I am going basically, because there wasn't any blurb to give you. I am going to assume that you obviously asked about the horse, and the Professor James Hawthorne did point out a colleague of mine at the Zoological Gardens told me in passing, apparently the beast was taken there for examination. If you want, I can pen a letter to Professor Atwood informing him you are assisting me with something. I'm sure he would grant you access to the carcass. So basically, I can't find any original stuff on it, but it would appear that last night or the night before, I can't remember, I'll have to see if there's a description. Basically, there's a story going out, a horse was attacked by a monster.
Well, I'd rather do that than go into the sewers. So
Okay, can I make a notice check just to see if the horse being attacked was by a wolf?
That was a week
Making
ago.
sure that it.
That was a
okay.
week ago.
My bad.
But no, it's a very good point. I like it.
I just wanted to make sure we weren't chasing our tail here.
No,
Yeah.
that's absolutely fine. Just
Carl-
saying, the zoo,
Carl-
the zoo's
Carl
up at
can't
the
do it.
zoological gardens and at the north side of Regent's Park, just for
Carl
reference.
Carl can't resist. He's gonna at least drop down into the sewers to see if there's any. He's still looking for slithering or claw marks or anything to see what went in or out of the sewer. So, can he do a notice, or in any case, he climbs down the ladder to see what's up?
You want to head down into the sewers?
Yeah, for at least a moment. I just have to sanity check what's going on, see if there's anything.
Well, it's going to be
Light a torch.
it's, ironically, as it would be, it'll be a Victorian sewer, so it will literally just be a large brick-built arch with sewage water running down the bottom of it. If you want to stick your head down, there'll be a ladder taking you down into the sewers. There's thousands of miles of sewers. 450. The main sewers stretch for 450 miles under London. The minor sewers, many of which are too narrow to explore, extend for 13,000 miles. There's also a number of subterranean rivers flowing beneath the streets of London, many of which connect to the sewer system, or double as sewers in their own right. There's an awful lot of rivers in London. They just built over the top of them, so they're all underground now. Most of London's rivers, apart from the Thames. Fleet's are the most famous one. It runs underground the Fleet River runs underground for 4 miles before emptying into the Thames.
Before he climbs down, he'd like to look at the rungs to see if they've been used recently, or if there are any markings on the rungs.
Make a notice check.
Okay. Think I can do better than that.
Did I accidentally click on the Professor James Hawthorne talking about a snake again? Because I didn't mean to.
Like, I'm also looking to see if there's an absence of hand marks or foot marks.
I
on
don't
the
think
rungs.
you spot. I don't believe you will spot anything of that sort. It's only
So
about.
I don't see anything.
It's only about
Nothing.
this sewer. It's about 5 feet down to the bottom, and you don't see any marks on the rungs. No.
I don't see any marks, so that's actually interesting. Or the things are just so clean there wouldn't be a mark.
Yeah, they're clean, but yeah, you don't
They're
see
clean.
anything.
Okay, so nothing material. Okay, I'm going to climb down and check in there, lighting a torch, or if I have a gas light, that would be fine.
Okay, you can climb. What's the rest of you doing?
Staying back from home.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll any? Do you want me to roll any?
No. It depends. As I say, there's hundreds of miles of sewers down there, so you can definitely just clamber down and have a look around if you want.
Isn't there something
yeah.
about gas buildup in the sewers and bringing an open flame? Or
I was wondering about that.
I'm thinking about Christmas Vacation.
shitter's full?
Shitter's full.
Yeah, that's Naked Flame, isn't it? So, yeah, you probably are better off with proper equipment, which you can get back at the lodge.
The lid has been off this thing for hours or days, over a day. So whether Carl is stupid or not, he's not totally concerned about methane or anything like that.
Sounds like Cousin Eddie.
I'll make you concerned about methane.
Well, you basically carrying a lantern requires the use of one hand, which of course precludes the use of any two-handed items such as rifles or like that. Obviously, you're dropping a lantern you really don't want to do down there because it will go out unless you're really unlucky. So yeah, You can clamber down the ladder and find yourself. You can climb down the ladder, and if you really want to finish climbing down the ladder, you will basically find yourself. You can basically hang off the ladder and look down either way, or you can climb down. But the last foot or so is basically we'll call it fluid, shall we?
Okay. Well, that's Carl's gonna.
I do not swim. I do not swim so good. So I think I will stay up here. Because.
But obviously, obviously, this is one of this is one of the side. This isn't one of the main sewers. This is one of the side sewers. It's hence the tab. It's only about 4 feet to the bottom. I said 5. I meant 4 feet, and it's obviously that's why there is. Obviously, if you sort of want to sort of join the sewers for a proper expedition, it would be an expedition searching 450 miles of sewers.
Is it 4 feet from bottom to bottom?
Main sewers. Pardon?
I said, is it 4 feet from bottom to bottom?
Well, that's why I said 5 feet and now 4 feet. It's 4 feet to the top of the fluid. Let's give it that way.
I was making a joke from your bottom to the bottom of the sewer.
Exactly, yeah. It's a 5-foot sewer, but you can only see the top 4 at the moment. You're only 4 feet above it before you find yourself. The last foot is submerged. Let's put it that way.
That's fine. Carl's going to do his best hanging off the ladder to check things out. He's also going to look particularly in the direction that the Natural History Museum would be, or that from this location.
Well,
in case
as I say, this is as I say, that what you're looking into at the moment is one of the side sewers. So the main sewer that would probably follow along the road is obviously the other side of the end from where you are.
If this is a dead end, that's fine, and Carl is done.
I'm not saying it's a dead end. The odds are you are probably going to have to head down the sewers, but it's probably going to be an extended excursion.
Carl's not going to do an extended excursion right now. Carl will not do an extended excursion. So you'll just clamber back up and say, well, I think there might be something down there, but I couldn't find anything at this juncture. So, and then Carl's going to put the lid back on.
Okie doke. No, Carl puts the lid back on. Also, the other thing is, don't forget the basilisk egg. Simon was discovered dead yesterday, and the devil was spotted 2 days ago.
Oh, well, that does put a different spin on things.
Does it though? That doesn't mean that the dude wasn't dead 2 days ago. So, well, put the torch out, put it back in my backpack.
Yeah, I'm highlighting a potential discrepancy. Yeah, as you're quite right, it is quite possible that the egg hatched more than before yesterday, but that would have had to be that would have to have happened after Professor Hawthorne checked it the day before, and you know what I mean. So.
He didn't say that.
No. No, he just said he went down to check on Simon and found him lying there dead.
Yes.
But he said he found Simon dead yesterday. Doesn't mean Simon didn't die before the day before.
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise. Yeah.
If you take go, I shall happily take that penny.
What's our next lead?
Well, to be honest, you've got two choices, really. It is based on what you're expecting. Is you've either got the zoological gardens, or you are going to have to go down the sewers and hunt a basilisk.
Yeah, there's something about the horse which doesn't make any damn sense.
Okay, let's check out the horse. That's the comfortably low-hanging fruit.
The London Zoological Gardens, better known simply as the Zoo, was established by Sir Stamford Raffles in 1826. It opens its gates to members of the London Zoological Society, which governs the zoo, in 1828. Only in 1847 was access granted to the public. A move established to secure funding and for the keeping and collection of the specimens. Most of the tropical animals are kept indoors, for it is commonly believed they cannot survive outside in London's temperate climate. Among many of its attractions are the aquarium, the world's first, and the reptile house. The zoo is located at the north end of Regent's Park, some 3 miles northeast of the museum. So, I did look it up. What did I work out? Was St John's Wood Road, which is basically just north of Baker Street. If you could potentially, from where you are at the moment, you could either walk back to, you're in South Kensington. You could basically take a tube train from South Kensington to Baker Street and then change onto the Metropolitan line, the Metropolitan Railway. It did exist back then, but for the purposes of this adventure, we'll use the modern line names. You can take the Circle line to Baker Street, and then you can take the Metropolitan line to St John's Wood, or you could just walk the 3 miles or take a cab. There's 5 of you, so a couple of handsome cabs. It's up to you how you want to
We
get
could
there.
walk 3 miles.
Yeah.
Won't even take
Two would be
won't even take
the
40 minutes.
two would be the compromise between fastest and cheapest. I do not wish to spend all day searching for the strange creature.
I'll hire a cab.
What else do you have to do?
No problem.
I'll just hire a cab.
Yeah, a hansom cab. Well, it's only 5 pence for a hansom cab for the whole day, so you can have one at your beck and call for the whole day. It says rent a hansom cab, 5 pence a day, a shilling for a day. Actually, 5p is probably a bit different, but we'll worry about that later. 5p, so 0.05 pence. Sorry, 0.05 pounds in the digital monetization of Victorian currency, because it's not worth doing it properly for a whole day. So that's not a problem. If someone wants to spend 10 pence, someone else wants to spend 5 pence on the second cab, then you've got 2 cabs for the day, because Sir Bartholomew has spent 5 pence on one cab. You just need another one, and you've got a hansom cab for the day to take you around the place.
Oh, so extravagant.
But anyway,
very good for the Constitution.
Well, some of them they can wait while you walk. But anyway, it's half past 4 when you all arrive. When you all finally arrive at the zoological gardens and are admitted to. That's the easy way to do it. And admitted to Professor Isaiah's Atwood's office. He's the senior veterinarian and biologist specialising in reptiles at the zoo. Armed with a letter of introduction, you had no difficulty in securing an appointment. Tall and thin, with small round spectacles, Atwood is the stereotypical scholar in appearance. He inquires as to why you wish to see the dead horse, but you get the impression it's more out of curiosity, because obviously with the letter he's obviously going to let you, but he does inquire why you wish to see the horse.
To see it isn't involved in an investigation we are involved in.
He nods and acknowledges that it's an investigation, and understands therefore to keep anything that happens on the quiet side. Okay, he leads you to the horse currently in the zoo's animal examination room. As you enter, it's basically obvious how it died. A single jagged wound extends from its neck all the way along its underside, almost to its hindquarters.
Through the bone?
Or
you don't know?
It's
not a flesh wound.
Just checking. I don't think it mentions bone. not here. They mentioned. I know the bones were mentioned elsewhere. Before, as you're all examining it, the professor asks your opinion. What could have caused such a wound? It's
Can I make a
obviously just
healing roll?
Yeah, of course you can.
I provide a theory.
I'll do science.
Obviously, he's going to tell you his opinion. He's just he's the type of academic who likes discourse and it's just interested in what you think it would be.
It was not a knife of any kind.
Yeah, obvious answers would be as far as you are concerned, would be a sword or other man-made weapon, or some form of large predator such as a lion or tiger. Is what you would be thinking in terms of the injury. Atwood nods
it looks
at
maybe claw or some other item that is not honed, but still can rip and puncture and then rip. So like a sword or even a talon. Does that make sense? What do you see?
Atwood nods to that. I'm intrigued to know what Bartholomews' weird science explanation would be.
That's why I'm to see if it would give me any idea of something abnormal.
No, again, it doesn't appear to be. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a injury caused by, something sharp, obviously. But Professor Isaiah nods as you give your theories. He says, "I am convinced the killer was an animal of some sort. Indications are the horse was rearing at the time. Judging by the height of its shoulder, I have deduced the starting point of injury, the neck, would have to have been some 8 or 9 feet above the ground. I thus eliminate a human agent for the simple fact there was nothing in the vicinity which could provide a human attacker the height required to plunge a sword or dagger into the beast's neck. While many carnivores are capable of leaping to such heights, especially big cats, I call your attention to the wound itself. Whatever beast... my space detection was terrible when I was doing this at 1 o'clock this morning. Whatever beast eviscerated the horse did so not with multiple claws like those of a tiger or lion, but with a single claw. My early findings indicate the claw would have to be more curved than that of a cat and far longer, perhaps as much as 3 to 5 inches in total length. Nothing I know of has such claws. And to that end, I am at a loss to explain and give you a definitive suspect. However, I can categorically state that no animal has escaped from the zoo.
Are there any animals? Are there any animals missing from the zoo at this time?
No.
Have you done a census to see if there are any animals that have joined the zoo?
Oh, I like that one. That's the classic mistake they made in the book version of Jurassic Park. They only counted that they had enough animals, not that they had too many. No, obviously they're unaware of any additions to the zoo.
Are there any bite marks or eating marks on the horse, or the horse otherwise intact, other than the big wound, than the killing blow?
That's a good one for that. It doesn't appear to be the case. However, from what you understand, basically the screaming of the horse attracted passers-by, and the blowing of police whistles of the actual carriage driver. They haven't found the carriage driver, although apparently the information was that he was spotted running for his life in terror, but no one's found him yet. So he goes, yes, indeed. He thinks, yes, indeed, it may well have been a predator that was intending to eat the horse, but I fear it was disturbed before it got a chance. Otherwise, we would be able to examine bite marks, which might have helped identify the attacker. Unless, of course, it wasn't an attack for predatory functions.
Where was the horse found, or where did this occur?
I'm going to have to say in the Knightsbridge area, because the adventure doesn't tell me, but based on what's going on, it's got to be the Knightsbridge area. So basically around the area of the Natural History Museum and the King's Head Inn.
Okay.
If you want to actually think about it, if you want another hint, if you've got the dung with you, this is a perfect person to examine it.
What?
Or you could just
We
give
lost
them.
you, Kat.
If you've got the, I would point out that this is probably a very good person to present the dung to. So if you've got the dung, it might be a good idea, or just Al just to hand over his shoe.
I don't think I'm still tracking it along, am I? If I am, I'll give it to him.
I was joking. I'm sure you cleaned it off.
I'll give him part of the sample. I was planning to run my own tests.
Well, you could certainly do so. He will conduct his own tests as he takes it over, puts it under, starts examining it with a microscope and everything, and he says there's a mixture. There's a mixture of bones of small animals, most likely rats, cats, and dogs, in here. Also, he seems to believe this is reptile droppings. He's unable to identify the species.
Okay.
Would you speculate that the kind of wound that you see on the horse could have been made by a reptile claw?
Reptile.
Assuming that a reptile could get that large.
Well, he says this is
Okay.
probably, there are no
Well,
reptiles. There are no reptiles that big, and the claw of 3 to 5 inches in length is bigger than any known reptile.
Yeah. But all that being said, that's not what I'm asking. Some reptiles have been known to grow up to fit their environment. So imagine an environment where they had uncontrolled access to food and were able to grow to such a size. Could you then speculate?
He does concede a hitherto unknown species of reptile could have caused the injury, but he also thinks that a reptile big enough to inflict a neck wound upon a rearing horse would probably have been noticed by now because of its sheer size required. For it to be, if it's walking on 4 legs and it has to reach up its a claw to tear, it's got to have to be quite big to reach 8 feet up into the air on a rearing horse.
So then our working theory is that this reptile is moving through the sewers throughout London, and so my next question would be: is there a large sewer access?
Why the fuck would he?
Near or inside the zoo?
Okay, that one he might know, but the answer is going to be yes.
The answer would be yes. The zoo would obviously have multiple. The toilets will be going into the sewers. The drains will be going into the sewers. There will be the manhole covers will be basically taking the wastewater, from the rain and everything into the sewers. So there would be, there'll be numerous entrances there'll be numerous grates that will basically feed the sewers. Yes.
Do you have a map that we could look at?
I don't think he would, but he wouldn't have access to a map of all the sewer access in the zoo. But obviously, you could probably find someone who does. Might take some time to draw one up, but yeah.
Das ist wunderbar. It's very good.
There's some research I think we need to do, so I'm going to head off. Anyone that wishes to accompany may come.
I will join you. Carl will join you.
It's got a lovely speech. So, none of you think a basilisk did it then? Because there's a lovely bit for asking him about it. But that's fine. Okay, you're heading back to the lodge, are you?
Wait, what?
Nothing, don't worry. There's a bit there. It goes. What happens if anyone asks Isaiah if you think a basilisk did it? You know, do you think a mythical creature did it? But don't worry about it. I was just thinking.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll ask him.
Well, he stares at you. He stares at you without moving or saying anything. His mouth just agape for several long moments. Then he shakes his head and says, "I thought perhaps you were jesting, but I can see you're serious. The basilisk is a myth, an ancient way of explaining a beast unknown to whoever dreamed it up. Take, for example, the unicorn. It is quite likely to have been nothing more than a rhinoceros. The basilisk might, I suppose, be a means of describing a venomous snake unknown to the author, but no to the answer to your question. I absolutely do not believe there is any chance that a basilisk might exist." There you go.
Gotcha.
I'm going to see to the.
That was worth it.
I'm going to look at see about where the sewer grates are in the zoo and see if we can inspect them before night falls.
And I'm going to explain that my friend was just thinking that we could call this mysterious reptile a basilisk once we find it.
Yeah, that's assuming that we cannot identify its actual species.
Mm-hmm. Sewer grate?
So yeah, heading back to the lodge.
Well, I thought we were doing the sewer grates at the zoo.
No, I'm
first.
letting you do that. I do not. There is other stuff that needs to be done. That I believe more critical that needs to be done.
I don't. Okay, I can't reply in whispers, so I don't know why you got focus. Really don't.
Neither.
Okay, everyone. Right, sounds like everyone's back at the lodge. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so we'll get you back to the lodge. It is
Well, wait. Wait, Kev. Some of us are staying here to look at the sewer to find the sewer grates.
Okay.
We
Examine
Split the
those.
party.
Two cabs. Yeah, we got two cabs, so we're
Got two
splitting the
cabs.
party.
No problemo. Okay.
Carl will go to the lodge.
Yeah, I mean, basically,
Well,
there will be numerous. I mean, they pretty much every building will have access to the sewers because obviously, you know, all wastewater will be washed into it. There'll be manhole covers. Sorry, not manhole covers. There'll be gratings for getting away excess rainwater around the zoo. And you're looking for anything in particular?
What I'm looking for is, well, I'll start with the outside ones, and I'll start with the ones near where the horse was found, and start working outwards from there.
The horse was found down near Harrods in Knightsbridge. Not here.
Oh, okay. I'm all confused then.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Maybe we don't split the party then?
Yeah, we can go back to the lodge then.
Sorry, I did mention Knightsbridge, but you might not have picked up on it. Knightsbridge is obviously Kensington area, and Knightsbridge is back here.
Where we found the original sewer grate, right?
Well, I mean, Knightsbridge is the area between Buckingham Palace and the Albert Hall, basically. So, and north of the Natural History Museum. So, I mean, potentially speaking, I suppose you're right. You are sort of looking in sort. I don't think anything's happened up by the museum, so I suppose you're looking at that sort of area, really, for all the events that have happened. And that's probably bigger than it needs to be, but I'm catching in the Knightsbridge. That's me centering it on Knightsbridge. It's probably better to center it more like so, I suppose. You can see the Natural History Museum. You've got the Albert Hall. You've got Knightsbridge. Obviously, you've got Hyde Park. So there, but okie dokie. What research is being done? We're gonna get you back there.
Well, going to run my own tests on the dung, but primarily I personally want to do the search into find more accurate information about this basilisk, and I want to send someone to the stuff seems to be focused on Kensington area, which is where you said the horse was found and that kind of stuff. So I want to send someone to acquire copies of what maps they can of the sewers and whatnot in that area.
And Aldous will volunteer for that.
Okay.
Carl will help with the examining the dung and trying to figure out what's up. He can contribute his science. Find out see if he can help find out more about the reptile.
You can roll
We have
science.
genetic engineers.
I'm rolling the
You want me
weird
to roll science?
Ripper check.
Yep. Make your research rolls.
Research rolls? Okay.
Of whatever skill you're using.
But before I leave, do you want me to make a Ripper Tech roll for you to help?
Carl can also do Ripper Tech on the sly. Wow. That was some Ripper Tech.
So that's a +2 to Bart's roll.
Oh, did Bart do Ripper Tech?
No, he's using Ripper Tech as a support. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
So Bart wanted to do the Ripper Tech roll. I was supporting him, and I rolled a raise. So I give him +2 to whatever he rolls.
Yep, which gets
So
to
my
a
science-
6. Your science
Is
would
my
make it up
science
to an
in
8.
support
Yep.
as well?
Yep. I like the science up to an 8. That's all good.
Can I also
Wait,
bump with Ripper Tech?
You can only support once,
Can
so
I-
your science is fine.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So
Okay.
is the research separate from the examining the sample? Because
No.
Because-
I'm treating it as you're doing all your. I meant when I meant research, I meant your skill rolls. If you want to use research, you can use research. But if you're using Riptech, it's absolutely fine. Is what I'm trying to say. I meant what skill ever you wanted to use for researching.
there
is
was
what I
two
meant.
different things I was doing. That's why
Yeah.
I was asking, because
Yeah,
I wanted to research going through the library
indeed.
research, and
Yeah,
then I
which
also
would be
wanted
a research
to try
roll.
and,
Yeah.
which is what I was rolling the research was because
Okay.
I heard first.
That's
Then I
fine.
also wanted to the professor at the lab obviously was able to make a science roll, on his analysis. I wanted to do the occult, I wanted to do like occult weird science, the Ripper Tech here, where there's other technologies, and I'm looking for something that's beyond something that is abnormal rather than normal.
Agreed. Understood.
There's like two separate
That's
things I wanted to
absolutely
do.
fine. That's absolutely fine. Make your other skill roll. I apologize.
All right. So in which case I'm making a weird science roll.
Okay.
Can I support that with science or Ripper Tech?
That's what you were doing. That's what you were doing with the Ripper Tech and and whatnot.
Oh,
You
the
were
science
So-
before?
Yeah, the
Weird.
science before. Yeah,
Okay.
one. Yeah, it's okay. If you can certainly make a second roll. There's two avenues of what research being done that night. So you can all support
All
a
right,
second
so-
time.
There's a all right. Got that
One,
plus 4.
yep,
So the weird
yep,
science
yep.
would be at 10.
All good. Okay. Basically speaking, everything seems to be pointing to the basilisk being a mythical creature of being a snake thing, which doesn't tie in with the injuries that have been described on the horse. Likewise,
Oh, no.
obviously.
I thought they said lizard.
They did say
They sort of-
reptile.
They
Reptile, yes.
sort of-
Reptile.
Yeah, no. But I'm going through stuff. So basically, into much of your research, obviously based on the ideas you've said, other than the fact that this egg was sent to the professor labeled basilisk, none of the evidence you've come across gives anything to suggest that whatever was in the egg was a basilisk. The point I was trying to make. However,
Okay.
what you do basically, it does appear from what you're looking at is all the dung points to a reptile. It seems to be very big. No one seems to be spotting it, but at the same time, it's also been described as a 7 foot tall, the devil himself, 7 foot tall, with the smell of death around him, and the clicking, the clicking on the ground of his staff, as it were. it can basically disembowel a creature at 8 feet tall. And there's nothing you've searching through all the research you can find. There is nothing in the historical Ripper logs going back for a creature that the Cabal used or any supernatural entity along those lines that you can find. However, you are also able to find a relatively recent, up-to-date level map of the sewers and determine that the best point of entry in the what you've decided is the area of effect. And likewise, safety lanterns, ropes, and other equipment can be provided by the lodge for you. Is there anything else in particular you were trying to ascertain that I've missed out in that description?
Can we figure? I don't know if you want to consider
age.
I don't know
Ask
if you
about
want
age.
to. The what?
Age. If we can tell anything about the age of the reptile or the age of the creature that we're attempting to track.
Well, we're either hunting one creature, which means it's less than a month old, but probably not more than a week old.
Well,
Or
we
we
don't
are-
know. We have we're getting
Or
mixed
we're
signals.
hunting two
One
different
thing's
creatures.
telling we're tracking a reptile, and another thing we're tracking that has a clicking staff that can cut things in half. Why don't we ask for the age of the thing leaving massive dung piles?
So we're not going to be able to determine that.
No, we don't know that. That's the
Not
kind of
from-
thing
I-
science might determine. Well,
don't
in any
think we-
case, that's what Carl's going to do. Carl's
Okay,
going to
there
look
was-
at it from a scientific perspective.
Don't know
So can
if
Carl
you can
try to determine
analyze
age?
age of a creature from poop, if I'm honest. I'm going to
Oh,
say
you're
If we had remains of the creature or like
Yeah.
scales or something like that. But what I wanted to ask was, I don't know if you want to apply it towards weird creatures or not, but there's typically like a ratio of this to this to this along animal components.
Indeed.
Long animal
Actually,
size
I'll
and
take it
stuff.
back. Apparently, there are age-specific differences in Asian elephants' dung. So I'll allow you to make a science check at -4.
Okay. Who's doing that? Carl or
You were
The
the
one
one who
who
said
did that?
you were the one who said you wanted to try and determine the age from the. No, I'm afraid
well,
you
I better
failed.
do better than that.
It's going to be very hard because you're examining something you've never seen before. I'm going to say, I'm afraid not. You were unable to determine any markers relating to any known reptiles that enable you to determine the age of the dung.
Okay.
Also, the size,
Alright.
of the, obviously determining the size of the dung might have been a helpful one because obviously the figure of being a bigger creature would leave a bigger dung pile. Unfortunately, of course, by the time you found the dung, Aldous had skidded quite a couple of feet down the alleyway.
So going off of the creature, we know that it can rear itself up to possibly get its head up to 8 feet tall, 7 to 8 feet tall. We know it has 3 to 5 inch claws. We know that it is big enough, that its mouth is big enough to eat up to small dogs. Correct?
Yes, that's
Yep.
that's what the evidence shows: cats and dogs and rats.
And it does not need to eat its food whole, or it's grown to a ridiculous size if it's able to try and eat a horse. So it probably does not need to swallow its food whole, so it's not a contractor or
Constrictor.
Not constrictor. No, constrictor squeezes. I know what you mean, though. A snake, yeah.
or basically any type of snake. It's some kind of lizard along the lines of like a dragon, of a Komodo dragon or something. So taking that information, can we kind of figure out like a proportional size or scale to it off of it being if that matters for weird creatures?
As I say, there is no known reptile.
No,
that,
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's
yeah.
not a known thing, and I'm
Yeah.
not trying to base it off of something that's known. It's there, but there is like a proportion of ratio of sizes. You know, if it's
Yes.
this big, this big, this big. That's what I'm trying to figure out, is get some rough parameters of overall how big it might be, how long its legs and forearms and such would be, that kind of stuff. That's what I'm trying to figure out is, can I get
That's
a
fine.
rough
I'm just looking
size?
just looking at the size of an adult white dragon. Because they're the smallest dragons, weren't they? What was I'm just curious, actually. Where's the size? Size for adult, 15 feet long, nose to tail. Yeah, it seems about right. It's probably you're probably looking for something size 4. Look at that. I'm not saying it's a white dragon. It's just
Now, I've got a couple questions too.
So it's probably up to 15 feet long with approximate weight of about 2 tons. Around the size of a hippo. You reckon?
What's size 4?
I mean, in Savage Worlds terms, size 4. So 15 feet.
No. I was just saying, you're supposed to say, you're telling how big it is.
Indeed. Sorry. Sorry. Sarah, you were saying something and I talked over you.
Yeah. I was going to ask if there was, I mean, because it's got some sort of claw type of thing, and so was there a tree near where this horse was attacked, or was this just kind of an open space? Because what I'm thinking that the guy was hearing was the claws tapping on the ground as it scurried up a wall or tree or whatever else.
There wasn't any trees around. There wasn't any trees around the alleyway.
But there were buildings.
Maybe it's a dinosaur, like a raptor.
But there were buildings around the alleyway, so that's why I was asking about around the horse, because if it scurries up the tree and leaps to make an attack, it could be the size of a Pomeranian.
He's absolutely right.
And still be making these kills.
No, it can't, because its claws are at least 3 to 5 inches.
Oh, and
then it rode the horse down like it's some pirate on a
precisely.
Just need to remind myself what Knightsbridge Road looks like.
Yeah, but then you've got the question of the dung. And while I agree with what you said is possible, but I mean, and I've had some annoying pets in the past, but they've never been able to. The smaller ones are never be able to put out that kind of quantity. Do you know what I mean?
Was there that much quantity? All I really saw was the fact that it was spread across the ground by somebody's shoe.
There basically was a whole Pomeranian in that pile.
But basically, from all your evidence, I think you're quite correct. I'm going to advance things, as it were. So it is now.
The only other question I would have had is what its likely preferred nest or such would be.
Well, I was going to say, based on the evidence, all the evidence is definitely pointing to it's nesting in whatever this creature is nesting in the sewers.
And I was going to say all the lizards are in Parliament.
It might be quite terrifying. See about getting some mirrored glasses, lenses, goggles. Would be the preparation I want to do then.
Certainly.
After the match. And some disposable clothing.
Seems sensible. Save image as.
Carl would like to do that too.
Be my guest. The labs can provide you sewer. It's a bit disconcerting, actually, that no one black blinks an eyelid, and when you ask about sewer equipment, they have a whole dedicated room based to provide all the equipment. You get the impression that going down the sewers happened to. You get the impression that going down the sewers is something the Rippers do from time to time.
Plus, they want to keep the smell separated from everything else.
Indeed, yeah. So I'm just
Oh,
just sorting out. Okay, it's going to be a JPEG. That's fine.
do we want to visit with the professor to look into whether they found the shipping box?
He said he'd contact you, but you can go there if you want to.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you can't go there because if you think of the area that you've deduced the area you need to explore, it's about 20 miles of sewers you need to explore under Knightsbridge area. So you could, if you want to go via the Natural History Museum, you can do so.
Oh, do we want to get an electric torch so that we don't fire up the methane?
What's an electric torch?
It's called a
I'm talking about Roomcoff's apparatus.
room cough apparatus. Unfortunately, Carl
I
cannot
think
afford
that's
one.
expensive. I was going to say that probably isn't something the lodge can provide, unfortunately, because the cost.
No, it is. It is quite expensive.
Yeah. The point being is what I'm quite saying is the lodge probably can provide the materials to build one, but obviously the parties have to pull the money to pay for it. Is what I'm saying. So yeah, a Rumkov apparatus. Yes, I knew it had a special name. I couldn't remember what it was called. Yeah. No, I've gas. They do have safety lamps though.
Oh, they have safety lamps? Okay.
They do have safety lamps. Yeah. So it should be pointed out that if you're carrying a lamp, that obviously you have to hold it in one hand. Dropping a lantern basically dropping a lantern would cause it to extinguish, but placing lanterns gently on the ground, it can be done, but it's an action. Just mentioning that for any particular reasons. Not that I can think of any why you need to know that sort of thing. Sure, you won't need to worry about that. So the only other thing to say is, what's your plan for trying to find the creature in the sewers? Are you just going to hunt for it, or are you going to try another tactic?
Are we hunting, or are we trying to trap it? And is everybody going, or are we splitting the party? What's happening?
Probably not going to be trappable. We don't know enough about what it's looking for outside of food. And it seems like it goes after lone individuals, or at least solitary versus a group. So either that means a lot of people have to hide, or we need to work on just tracking it, which I'm assuming was what we were going to do. Was working on tracking it and gathering information to see if we can.
Well, yeah, realistically, so trapping was probably the wrong word. I probably should have said luring. So you can either go hunting it, or you can try and bring it to you. But or a combination.
Well, we could always take a Pomeranian down there and use that as bait. Sorry, I'm stuck on dogs right now.
So it's obviously you can either try and draw it in, or it just decides how we proceed in the sewers. It sounds like you're planning to hunt, so we'll hunt. Sounds more fun.
Yeah, I figured we were planning to hunt more than because luring
we can
it.
start by hunting and try see if we can see it, see if we can track it, see if we can find out anything else about it, and then maybe we can figure out how to lure it.
Hunt it, and narrow down areas that it might be that we can attempt to.
Yeah,
lure.
maybe it has a lair.
Okie dokie. So, actively searching through the sewers in search of the beast. Although there will be much blundering in the gloom, skilled trackers can use clues like spore, scratch marks, and dead rats to narrow down the likely lairs or feeding grounds. Therefore, what's going to happen here is for basically every 2 hours while you're down in the sewers, each of you gets to make a skill roll of your choice, or you can make a notice check. You should explain exactly what skill you're using and how it aids the search. Obviously, for example, survival's covers tracking and knowledge of stalking prey. Stealth might be used to move the party slowly forward but quietly. So there's a chance, because you might be, if you're too noisy, scare a creature off before so it's away. Obviously, thievery, picking locks on grates, separating two tunnels, and all that. Basically, it's quite straightforward. It's going to be like a dramatic task, but there's no complications, if that makes sense. So every 2 hours, you all make the skill checks explaining what skill you're using. We track down the number of successes. Once you hit the required number of successes, once you hit a required number of successes, events occur. Basically, you should try to be creative in your choice of roles. You can't use the same skill or attribute twice during the hunt. So, other than just basically general searching notice checks. So that's how we're going to do. So obviously each success will count towards the total number, and certain events will happen as things go on. So as I say, we're going to ignore any references to complications in the thing, but I'm going to still use the combat tracker, not because it only just to make it an easy way of going through which skills you're using for the first 2 hours and stuff like that. And also that means you'd still get a chance of getting jokers and pennies that way. So in the first 2 hours down in the sewers, Carl, how are you going to hunt the basilisk?
I'm going to start by using my natural fallback skill, which is science. And I'm going to see if I can piece anything together.
That's good to me. Well, that's an 11. That's good. That's a good start. Gets you 2 successes. Tommy's not here, so let's get rid of him. That gets us to Sir Bartholomew.
I'll just be keeping a sharp eye out to start with.
Okay.
I'll Benny that.
Notice, by the way, is the exception to can't use the same skill twice. Obviously, that's you just looking around. That gets us to 3 results, successes. That gets us to Tatsuya.
Tatsuya is going to use his battle knowledge to plan out the best route that we have for going through here without doubling back on ourselves too much.
Indeed, you've got maps. Aldous has got hold of maps. 9. Okay.
I'm going to use my occult knowledge to figure out where
Don't worry about that.
such creatures are drawn to.
Okay, sounds good to me. Using your occult, are you happy with a 5? Do you want to rip any it?
Let's see what happens if I Benny it. You just want that. There it is. You bastard.
Oh, sorry.
Side note, one of the things that you guys notice once Tetsuya puts on his armor, because he's not going down here without his armor, is his English clears up a lot. He no longer has the really heavy Japanese accent. You almost detect no accent once he has his armor on.
Putting full
So he's a
armor on.
British samurai.
Putting your armor on, are you?
Oh, yes.
Okay, his armor is on. Okay, sorry, Franz. I wasn't trying to dig at you there. Obviously,
I know you weren't. Still.
Unfortunately, a critical failure has occurred.
There were complications with the complications.
Yes, I'm just deciding which one happens. Okay, I think we'll go. No, actually, I think Franz, you're basically using your cult. Something. There's a strange. You think you see a strange glow down one corner of the corridor, and so basically, without trying to attract the rest of the party, but they're still doing their own thing as they move off. So you basically head off down the side corridor. We'll find out what Aldous does, and then we'll resolve your critical failure. Aldous.
Again, Alf there. Said I should have told him in English, but I told him in German.
Indeed.
Not going to do. Aldous is using his survival to try and
that's fine.
find, track and do his thing.
Certainly. What I need to do is I just need to. Okay, so we'll head back now to now head back to France. You turn around and you realise that basically somewhere along the line, everyone else took a different turn to you, and you're completely on your own. Turning around rapidly, you notice you suddenly realise something's approaching you rapidly, and basically all you can hear is the sound of fast moving water. So something big, fast and heavy is coming towards you. There's just a flash of something that strikes out at you.
Not time to put up protection.
However, you are able to to dodge out of the way of whatever it was. You just saw this 5-inch claw just whiz just past you, nearly taking your face clean off. Whatever it was just splashes off into the distance faster than you can chase it. After
Well, at least I know I was going in the right direction.
After a few minutes, you catch up with everyone else, who appear to be standing over a partially eaten human corpse. It's been disemboweled by a single wound running from the chest to the navel. Large chunks of flesh have been torn away, and there are numerous smaller bites on exposed skin.
Seppuku, you did watch Red Dragon.
Survival. You can make survival or notice checks to examine the body. Survival will give you different information to notice, I should point out.
I believe I just ran into the creature.
So Aldous rolled an 11 on survival, huh? Okay,
He did
cool.
indeed. And Carl got a 17 on his notice check. So basically, Carl, you deduce that the man, based on his clothing and poor personal hygiene, this was definitely a tramp, hobo type, you know. And obviously probably came down here, probably, you know, being February, it's cold at night. So he probably came down because it's warmer down here at night. And obviously something he came a crupper of something. Aldous, you confirm that the numerous smaller bites on the exposed skin are rat bites, but whatever the large chunks of flesh had definitely been torn away by something considerably bigger than a rat.
Were they just chomped? Were they just chomped through, or was this sort of a shake the head, tear chunks off kind of thing? Or is there any sign of that?
Large chunks of flesh have been torn away. So yeah, it's something bit and, you know, tore the flesh from the body. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously,
somebody just said they ran into the creature. What are you talking about? Franz? Did you want to tell us anything?
Well, you know, I was walking down a corridor, and then it ran at me and tried to slice me open with a claw. Big,
What did it look
huge
like?
downward stroke, starting at my neck.
And what did it look like?
It was a big lizard.
Did you engage, or what happened?
No, I did not. I ran.
You ran. Where did it go?
I'm not some soggy sploot. I use my mind.
Where did it go? You let it get away? You escaped with your life. Where did it go?
It went this way.
It was a drive-by attack. It literally attacked him, failed to incapacitate him, and ran off into the gloom, hiding basically.
Okay.
Oh, he's buggered off. Yeah, he went this way.
Okay, the next 2 hours of searching can begin when you finish your discussions. But please continue discussions.
Let's see. So, Carl makes a mental note of where we are in the city relative to the sewers, or at least to the best of his knowledge, so that we have a
Marking
point
up the
where
area we've searched
You're under Brompton Road.
and marking
Okay.
where his attack was, if we can figure that out roughly.
Yeah, you obviously using that you based on the maps you found of the sewers, you can sort of refocus exploring that area. Although the speed it moved away from France, it could have covered it could have escaped. But you can spend the next 2 hours focusing on that area, of course. Okay, France, you're up first with a joke bonus.
No, I just mark where it occurred and mark this body and any incidences we have for it to try and establish pattern.
Good for me. So France is up first. How are you spending these 2 hours? I'll put you on hold if you're not there. Sounds like he's not there. I'll put him on hold.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm just thinking about it.
that's fine.
I don't.
There you go.
My knowledge of the occult almost backfired on me, so I will do some research.
Okay,
No, 999. I will do the science.
you do so. Research is obviously you're going through notebooks you've got on ideas and things and researching stuff is successful. Now you got a 5, which is the same as last time. So are you happy with a 5?
9.
No, you have to roll again. You have to just to prove that it's not jinxed.
I dropped the penny.
You got a 5 again. Do you want to roll again?
9. That is good.
Okay. Sir
We're stopping.
Bartholomew.
All right.
You're acting here. Yeah.
I'm still keeping an eye out and watching for markings and marking down signs of where we believe it's been.
Okie dokie. It's a 7. It's due to Tatsuya.
I will be using my stealth since we know that we're in the same vicinity as this creature. We're going to need to be moving a little quieter to make sure it doesn't run away.
Mhm.
Too many of us, kind of thing.
Okay,
And you know what? I'm okay with the 5.
After telling someone else he had to reroll.
Well, because the last time he had a 5 and re-rolled, he critically failed, and he had to prove that he wasn't cursed with 5s, you see.
Fair enough. Aldous, you're up, sir.
Yeah, and I am going to use I'm going to use my stealth at this point to try and find ways to keep us quiet and so that no one's getting mauled again by this thing.
Okie dokie. You might be scaring it away with rolls like that. Slightly better. There's no penalties for failing, don't forget, guys. Obviously, it is about the more successes you get, the quicker you find it. That's all it is. How to spend all your bennies. 10, very nice. And last but not least is Carl.
Carl is carrying one of the lights, and has a dagger in his other hand, so he is paying extra attention, squinting, looking for any signs of movement, and so he's going to use his notice.
Okay, sounds good to me. That gets you another success. That gets you to 12 total successes. So it's up to you if you want to Benny that and see if you can get it to 13 successes or be happy with 12 this round. Carl.
Not happy. Give it another shot. Oh.
Okay, you're on 11 total successes. Okie dokie. Okay, Carl, as you're spending so much time noticing and looking at everything, you basically don't notice that everyone else. You don't notice when everyone else ducks at the very low ceiling. There's a loud. Everyone else just hears a very loud thump, an exclamation of pain, and you sort of see Carl staggering backwards, having taken a point of bumps and bruises.
I'm sorry, I'm picturing the stormtrooper hitting his head on the door.
Did I just take a wound? Is that what happened?
You just took you didn't take a wound. You took a point of fatigue.
A point of
bruises.
Oh, did you already put it in?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
However, the rest of you hear a noise coming from an adjacent pipe. There's a slim overspill sewer which joins your location to that of the other side. After a few moments of listening, you determine that it's a pair of sewer workers. As I say, you're able to converse with each other, but that's it, because obviously it's like a 6-inch overflow pipe is how the sound is travelling. Do you wish to ask them anything, or converse, or just move on?
Ask them if they know of, if they've heard or know if there's any areas to be avoided.
They certainly they inform you. They inform you an area that you can cross off, which will next round give you all. I'm going to say give you all a +1 bonus on your rolls, because they say, oh yeah, we've just been around this whole area. There's been a collapse. The area is blocked off. It won't do any good. But it would have taken you a long time to get down there, find the blockage, and come back. So we'll give you a +1 bonus everyone in the next round. They seem a bit intrigued what you're all doing down here, and inquire what's going on.
Hunting escaped to beastie, exotic.
Something
Carl
escaped
asked-
from the zoo, has it?
Not the zoo, private collection.
Oh, private collection, huh? We always keep hearing stories that people have lost alligators down the sewers, but unfortunately we've never come across one yet.
Carl says, sort of hesitatingly, well, keep an eye out and stick together. And if you see any movements, give a shout out if we're nearby.
Certainly.
Scream. We'll try to avenge you.
Not trying to make
that's
them
okay.
scared, but just trying to make them alert.
Oh,
Hey Max, did you hear that? Sounded like a splash. No, you're hearing things again, Frank. Oh, okay, that's fine. Well, yeah, nice talking to you.
Where did you hear the splash?
But Frank,
How can we get to you?
Frank, what's that coming behind you? Oh my God, Frank! Frank! There's vicious sounds of murderous violence taking place on the other side of the thing. It's very quick, efficient, and brutal. All you can hear is basically unfortunately, those with medical knowledges are definitely able to discern the moment when one of the two workers is disemboweled, his entire intestinal tract just splashing into the sewers. You can hear the screams are mercifully brief, but then you can hear the tearing of flesh and the heavy breathing of some creature.
That bit where they dropped all the sausages? It sounds like they dropped all the sausages into a boiling pot.
Basically, yeah.
what's the fastest way to get to where?
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
Carl's heading that direction.
Yeah, well, that's what you'll have to do. But obviously, it's a convoluted route, as always the way in these type of things. But at least you've got useful information.
Do you have grow shrink?
Sorry?
Nobody has grow shrink.
No. It's very much. So the next 2 hours, obviously focusing on getting to the site of these poor people. In the next 2 hours, you will, of course, do so. They are in pretty much the same state as that other body you found. They are literally they've basically both been disemboweled, and chunks of flesh are missing from them. The bodies have also been sort of pushed up, lifted up to the water, so they're probably being stored there for possible later consumption. You're not sure, but there we go. Let's have your next hour's rolls, which will start with Carl.
You guys on the inside.
You're at 11 successes, I believe. 2, so
Well-
6, 10, 11 successes.
Carl's going to try to notice again,
Okay,
and he's going to be a little more all-encompassing in his notice check.
Okay.
So he's not doing not focusing on just one thing. Ay.
That bump on your head
Right,
is
one more
definitely
time.
causing you grief. That's 7. That's quite respectable. That gets you up to 12. That gets us to Franz.
Yeah, I've looked through my notes. I'm sure there's something. I have something in here that will. Was ist los? Das ist nicht richtig. Wo ist? Entschuldigen Sie bitte. Einen Moment.
Are each of you carrying a lantern, or are any of you not using a lantern? Out of interest.
I have my lantern.
Oh, hang
Carl
on.
has a lantern.
I have
Oh,
my device.
Carl,
Here it
don't
is.
forget. I forgot to mention it. So obviously, Carl got an 8. Don't forget, we're using the information you had. You get a +1 on this round's rolls. So that's a 10, Franz.
Yeah. Here it is. Yeah.
Oh, then Carl's thing is a +2, not a +2 success instead of a +1. Because he had a -1, now he's the +1, so it rounds up to an 8 again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly correct.
Okay.
Sorry, who? Sorry, I was talking over myself because I remember something. Who's got torches?
I have.
Carl has a lantern.
I have one of my. I have the electric device on my backpack.
You have the electric device.
I have the
What?
electric device.
Oh, I didn't know we had one.
Yep.
Which would
Normal
be
prompt apparatus.
Sharp off,
Yes, I've got one. Oh, which means I should be carrying it. Equipping it.
I want to see if I can do this.
And we also said that Carl's got a lantern. Did we say?
Yeah.
Has anyone else got a lantern? It's just the 2. That's fine. I just want to know. That's fine.
I'm
Okie
looking.
dokie.
I don't know if I have one or not.
Well, don't forget you could have taken one from the thing, and that's fine. That's why I'm asking. It just means obviously. Yeah.
I
Sure,
thought
if I
that's what
can
we
add
were
a
using.
lantern, I'll-
You
Yeah,
said
that's-
safety lanterns. They had safety
Yeah, exactly.
lanterns.
Yeah, exactly. But that's why I'm asking. But don't forget, if you're carrying one, you are using. The reason I'm asking is carrying a lantern means you're holding it. The point I'm trying to
Yes.
Yeah.
Understood.
Yeah, no problem.
make. So that's
One lantern, one night.
So that's Franz wants a lantern. Is that correct? Or is that all just wanting a lantern? Sorry.
That is all this adding a lantern and actually using it.
That's okay. That's fine.
So I've added it to my inventory, but it's also equipped.
That's
Where do
not
I
we
don't know if
find a
that
lantern?
automatically puts an effect on me or not. But
No, I'm not. The reason I was asking is because I had so much fun in games on Tuesday with it. I'm manually adding token lights onto people that need them for reasons.
I
Which is
need-
another-
But mine will be 8 inches rather than like a normal torch.
Yeah, I gave you the light power, which whether I can modify it's another matter, of course. Let's see if I could do that. Lighting, token light. Yeah, I can. I can do that, and then do that. There you go. That worked.
is that does clicking that token light thing bring up a menu?
Basically, you go to clicking on token light. You then click on a token on the map. Then you can set the light specifications or use one of the presets, and then you click add light, and it just adds a light to that token on the menu. So that's how I've gone with it. Okay, Aldous is up next. It's just potentially, I think I might need a map, so I just wanted to know who's illuminated based on what happens next. Aldous, how are you
so
spending the next
Aldous-
2 hours? This is 6 hours down in the sewers by now.
Oh, this is just now that he's got his light going, and he's just going to simply use his athletic skills to make sure that he's not tripping and sliding on slime or poop. And there you go.
That's a 5 plus 1 makes 6, which is okay. And that gets us Tetsuya. 7, 10, 14, 17. Tetsuya could. Tetsuya here could actually, yeah.
You skipped.
How many do we need?
We need 3. I need 2 raises.
Well,
I'm going to actually use my fighting skill because we're starting to get close, and I want to make sure that we are aware of like hidey holes and so forth, where the creature may be trying to sneak up on us.
Okay.
Or anywhere it might ambush us. Likely ambush us.
Really? Come on. Where's that crit fail? You know you want to give it to me.
Oh, 11.
I needed the 12.
You got a 12 because you're +1 right now. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I forgot the +1. Yep.
Exactly. Okay. All of us basically ahead as you're moving through the tunnel, you hear a noise up ahead. It's basically you can hear breathing. It doesn't sound like anything you've heard before, and you can hear it splashing through the wall.
Carl looks behind him at everybody else, and then he heads forward toward the breathing with the light fixed from where he believes it's coming from.
Tatsuya will draw his katana and follow.
Probably before going in, since we know it's there, since we've hunted it down.
You basically find yourself. Share the map. You basically find yourself at a junction, looking ahead, right, standing over this grate that obviously takes you down to a lower junction. You encounter the basilisk. It looks up at you and goes, beep. It's about 6 inches tall.
It's reproduced.
Why do we keep getting these error screens? Is that a thing, or
use the magic command.
Thank you. The basilisk broke Fantasy Grounds.
Sorry about that.
Magic command Black Lotus.
So there we go. As I say, it looks up at you after 6 hours in there. You've found a creature.
Ooh. Wait, do we have the equipment to capture it?
No, because we did not believe it'd be small enough to capture.
Look in your equipment just to make sure you don't have something. Does it have sharp claws?
It's smaller than a Pomeranian.
Yeah, but I do not think that this is.
I think that trope of the pissed off mama.
Yeah.
Well,
For which reasons I do not recommend fucking with it. Is that the term? How you English say fucking with it?
However, it would act as bait.
well, Carl.
That's just capturing it.
Carl is drawing a mental picture of the thing in his mind, so that he can draw it at a later time.
Capture to kill it. Which?
Capture if we can.
Oh, really? Suddenly bursting out of the darkness, splashing
it's a
through the
dinosaur.
sewers, is a 6 foot tall creature that's quite considerably similar to the small one. It basically slashes and misses. Oh no! It hits. It slashes Barty with a vicious claw straight through the torso.
What?
You've just been attacked by a velociraptor.
9.
I said dinosaur.
You actually called Velociraptor right at the start, and I gave you a Benny on the quiet.
Oh, you did? Oh, wow.
It's seven. You're basically staring at a 7 foot tall a creature that obviously dinosaurs. Velociraptors aren't discovered to the 1920s, so you've got no idea what this is. But anyway, it's some sort of animal on
It's
its
a
hind legs.
basilisk.
No, the baby was the basilisk. That's what hatched from the egg. Okay, so I think Franz is in a very bad way, taking 2 wounds unless he successfully soaks.
Oh, God.
Holy crap.
Yeah, and at which point the Velociraptor just basically does. It was like a pounce attack. It attempts to get back into the darkness, however, it doesn't get to move far enough because I rolled really crap on its stealthy run. Natsura, you're up next in your battle armor.
Tatsuya will dart over there and chop at the Velociraptor.
It dodges deftly to the side.
How do you target a creature by pointing at it again? I always forget the gesture. Click.
Yeah,
Left click, right click.
You activate your token first and then control click on the target.
Control click.
Or you just
Okay.
use the
Tough
targeting
one,
icon. It's a very dexterous individual, this thing.
Oh, there we go.
I'll let you end your turn.
Control click. Remember that.
So Bartholomew is up next. Franz is basically desperately trying to hold his insides in as he bleeds profusely.
Is heal something you can use in a combat, or it's only after combat?
The healing skill takes 10 minutes. A healing power is instant.
Okay.
So Bartholomew walks up to Franz's heavily bleeding form.
Lie down. No, he took a leg to the hit, so if he's not prone,
to lie down is this?
if he's not down, I assist him in becoming prone. Do I need to make an athletics to make him prone?
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right.
He's fine.
Assist him becoming prone.
I start away and I pull out a strange-looking dual-tubed syringe, and it's like, hold this, and I start injecting his wound.
Wow. That was a potent concoction you cooked up there.
Don't be too rigorous, you'll just tear it open or make it bigger.
Once you end your turn, we shall be on Aldous.
Yep.
Aldous, you're up, sir.
Well, drops his lantern.
Extinguishing it.
And shape changes before he moves.
Okay.
And the pace is what for the wolf?
Pace 6. The low light vision worked for your effect, which is nice. You've got your low light vision effect on your token.
Can you improve my movement so I can see?
Sure. 6 gets you to there.
There's the Velociraptor. My bad. Okay.
10 inches gets you to there. Very important because, of course, if you shake it, you've still got 4 inches of back off movement. A wolf goes up against the velociraptor. With raise.
Spend a penny on that.
You shake it.
Okay, I just dropped a penny on that, so can I re-roll that damage?
Sure.
I made a mistake.
That's fine. I think you take the 12,
Well,
won't you? Oh, hang on.
think
You
I'll
didn't do
take
the
the
raise.
12.
Hang on. It didn't do the raise damage. Just let me just drag that in for you. Yeah, you'll take the 12. Okay. So the velociraptor is shaken. You have 4 inches of movement if you want to back off.
I definitely do.
You basically back off. That brings us to Frowns, who's prone, but basically the wound is you can no longer feel the wound and you've stopped bleeding. As I said, you've probably got a slight scarring there. Once Aldous ends his turn, I've learned not to do it anymore. Too many problems. Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that. Did that? Remember that in future. Got a little icon that if you click on the little cross swords icon at the bottom of an NPC, it just adds another one to the combat tracker. I don't want to give you 2 velociraptors to deal with, but anyway.
I will stand up and give my leg tentatively put some weight on it.
Mm-hmm. Seems okay.
Yeah. So now I only have to worry about my pants.
It'll cost you 2 inches of movement to get
Yours
up.
anyways.
It'll cost you 2 inches of movement to get off prone, but obviously after that you can continue moving.
Okay, I really want to do something offensive. In combat-wise, I mean. Not like rip my pants the rest of the way.
Would you prefer your pants glued inside of your leg wound? I'm sure that would be much worse.
But so instead I will do deflection because I'm in a bit of a panic.
Okay. Given what happened to you, deflection strikes me as being rather sensible, personally.
So that's with a raise.
Mhm.
And then I will also add to it hurry and glow, actually.
Glow will make you easier to hit.
It
Oh
will?
no, it doesn't. No, glow makes it harder to move stealthily. Ignore me, I'm being stupid. I was not paying attention. Yeah, that's fine. Go for it.
Yep.
Are you applying them or shall I?
Let me see how this works. It's the first time I ever used it. So, what happens if I get a raise?
We're just checking that because obviously I'm still in Pathfinder mode. The end result, coming with success, the foe must subtract from even melee range. With a range applies to both. So yeah, you get to pick melee ranged thrown. Melee ranged thrown you get to pick. I know it says both, but obviously ranged and thrown and fencing rounds are different.
So I'll do melee, obviously. So
you got the race. You get all 3. That's the point.
Oh, okay.
Isn't there an at attack?
Yeah, that would make a lot more sense in hindsight, but I didn't make this rule set. Light attack is how I did it in the Savage Pathfinder rule set, but this is the Slade
There
rule
is,
set.
but it's only on Shroud.
Yeah.
So they got it right there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No problem. So you now
Can
glowing.
I add a light to myself?
But you've got the light effect, so it's probably working. Let me just borrow your you. No, it's not. Okay, I should do that now. Token light. Dim at 2, light at 1. Then move you over there.
And it just pooped the bed.
Yeah, there you are. There's your light. I can see it around you. Got a light?
Oh, yep, got it. Yep. Excellent. All right, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay, that brings us to Carl after Franz ends his turn. I've been trained very well by Jiminy just to let players end their turns. It always goes wrong when I do it. Carl,
You mean you don't have have it on the hot bar, the end turn button?
No, but I press it at the same time players do, and I get in trouble. So I'm not doing it anymore.
Could you accept my move?
I will accept your move. Yep.
Thank you. I'm going to use my throwing knife to attack.
Okie dokie. It's quite a long range, and it would be dramatically appropriate to hit the armoured fellow between you, but that's not a problem with that roll. Roll for damage. Why is it saying unstable platform? I must have a global stat on that shouldn't be on.
Boom.
Turn off the unstable platform. Look at that. You were 1 point short of hurting it. Unfortunate.
Oh.
Hang on a second.
Maybe you left it on from the chase.
I did, but I'm just thinking about that. So an unstable platform would have been a 2. That means you would have actually rolled a medium range. Oh, it wouldn't have made any difference to the damage. So unless you want to Benny to re-roll the damage, I'm afraid you didn't hurt the Velociraptor with your knife.
Okay, I'll re-roll. Use one Benny. See if anything happens. No, I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to hurt him.
It's unfortunate.
So,
oh, that's bad news for everyone, isn't it?
Would that have made my roll a injury?
No, because unstable platform doesn't affect. Anyway, unfortunately for all of you, the Velociraptor got the Joker. I think we're going to have to multi-action here, aren't we? So what we're going to do is we're going to bite Tetsuya and miss, and then advance past Tetsuya, but not leave his area of effect, and get his second attack on Aldous. Hitting. Doing.
All this attacks is messing us up.
Unfortunately, the wolf is bitten by the Velociraptor.
Oh, no.
Unless the wolf can soak the damage. Oh, he can't. He's got no wounds. Benny's, I mean.
I think that wolf v.
Wait,
Velociraptor.
my daughter's coming. Hold on a second.
thinking outside the box.
You can just slide down the voice, you know.
No, I text her. She's at her mother's.
Oh, fair enough. Well, I'll tell you what.
It's okay.
I like the novelty of it, so I'll award you all bennies. As it stands at the moment, the Velociraptor's bitten you on the leg. So you better, if you don't soak both the wounds, you will basically have a bad injured leg. In the slow hindrance.
The weird thing is I don't see it. Oh, you've already applied them.
I've already applied it, so I'll retroactively turn it back into damage, turn that off, and there you go. So now you can soak it. which you do. Okay.
That's my girl.
Doesn't put it in yet, so I'll take a penny off you next week if we don't get one. Okay, Franz, you're up, sir.
Oh, back again so soon.
The speed and violence of this creature is unerring. I should also point out in the run across there was a high pitched squeak as it crushed something underfoot.
Did it crush its baby?
Wasn't its baby?
Oh. Damn it.
Not that you know that. Anyway, what's your plan, Franz? You can be offensive now. You've got your deflection on.
Yep. Got my deflection on. Get your deflection on. Get your deflection on. Fuck. I am going to use telekinesis.
The only person who's got guns isn't here.
Right.
Need to make sure. I need to give you. You need to probably take some guns out the armory next time.
What did I roll?
You rolled a 7. That gives you telekinetic strength D10, doesn't it?
Yeah. Right. And then so reading. I'm just gonna bash it.
Go for it.
Oh, fart. Damn it. Stupid error window. What's the magic command again?
Oh, it gets a spirit check. Resist this. So apparently, unwilling beings targeted by telekinesis resist the caster's arcane skill with an opposed spirit roll. It's a spirit check, which it fails to resist, which is okay. Therefore, you are able to bash it into walls or ceiling. So you get to do. You don't actually need to. Yeah, you just do strength plus d6 damage.
Yeah. So basically, I yell up. It's bound to be slippery under there, creature. Be careful. And then I bash its head into the floor. Actually, into the side of the ledge there. See the ledge?
Telekinetic.
Oh my God. What is the command to ignore the window? Somebody, anybody, help me.
/ console skip.
Thank you.
Kevin put it in the chat.
Thank you. So I roll damage now. Sorry. I was getting error messages. It was messing me up.
Okay, I've created I've created them.
So it does 2d6.
Strength plus d6, so obviously with the raise, so it's d10 plus d6.
Oh, I thought
Unless
it
you
was
get the raise.
plus 2d6. Oh, no, yeah. Okay, so all right.
So 7 points of damage won't hurt it.
May as well spend that penny. There we go.
Okay. Congratulations! You just smash it into the ceiling and snap its neck.
Oh, wow. Well done.
Wait, that killed it?
You did it, yeah. It's hard hitting, but obviously it's a scary thing, and it's hard to hit and very fast. But at the same time, you use you basically picked it up and smashed it into the wall. It collapses at your feet with a broken neck. Congratulations, you have defeated some weird creature in the sewers. What do you do?
You want to rescue the basilisk? What happened to the basilisk?
It got
It's
crunched.
dead.
But you got two bodies, and I can imagine there's someone who'd be very interested to examine them both, of course.
Yeah, we want to show it to the zookeeper and say, "There's your basilisk."
Well, the one is probably not much there. However, where do I find what I'm looking for?
Is this where we can take a sample to like apply it to ourselves, or no?
You can on certain creatures. Unfortunately, I think they have to be supernatural in origin, don't they? They have to be monsters, as it were, as opposed to animals. Although you have no idea what this is.
I would say a velociraptor in turn of the century England probably qualifies.
It does qualify, but unfortunately, what I'm trying to say is there's no reason for you not to try and to do that sort of thing. The net result is you won't necessarily get anything because it's not a supernatural creature that will enhance you with via Rippertech, but characters wouldn't know that, therefore you could do it. However, taking the adult slain velociraptor's body back to the Professor Hawthorne for analysis, we'd be most interested in that sort of thing. And also, don't forget, you also need to find out. It's 1922 until it won't be until 1922 until the first Velociraptor fossils are unearthed. I'm going to basically purely for cliffhanger purposes. I'm going to fade out here and fade back in with Professor Hawthorne and yourselves in a room in a room in the Natural History Museum, and Hawthorne is basically fascinated by the creature that you've. He's taken aback by the size of the creature, and he thinks it's like the thing. This grew from the egg so quickly; it's horrifying. He pries himself away from the dead raptor long enough to hand you a small wooden box. It measures roughly a foot to a side. On one side is a label giving Hawthorne's address. On the other side is a stamp marked London Electric Company and a long reference number. The professor has no idea where the LEC office is located, but that is where we shall leave it today, and you have obviously got a hint of where to head to. Congratulations. Hope you enjoyed it.
Well, do we get to make the Rippertech roll to try and make the extract?
You can certainly make the Rippertech roll to try and get an extract. And I will take it away and remind myself on what the exact examples are, because I know as a GM I can make up Rippertech. So I'm going to read up the actual definitions of what creates Rippertech, and if you're allowed it, you will get an extract. Of course, you could do that before you take it to the professor. Be my guest.
Can I do a support roll for that?
You most certainly can do a support roll.
I'm going to Benny that. Should be able to do better.
Can't keep them.
Yeah.
That sounds like a 6 on the support roll. That's +1 on the support roll.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Still a raise.
Week after next, we'll be back for part 3. See you then. +1 and 9. Okay. I shall take that away. And let you know what the extract you achieve will be next time. But I hope you enjoyed it. And hopefully next time you can find out why on earth the London Electric Company is sending dinosaur eggs to the Natural History Museum.
Bartholomew, if we're making extracts, Where is that? There's some. Oh yeah, if we're making extracts, do you have Arcane Chemist?
Not yet.
So why don't you let me make the extract? Then we get 2.
Well,
Okay.
you can discuss that in chat, and I'll let you know what happens. But we shall leave it there today. But see you all next time. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed that. That's the end of part 1 of Dragons in London. No, you don't. No, you don't get an advance. You haven't completed the adventure yet. We shall leave it there until next time, but hope you enjoyed it. See you in a fortnight. If you're around on Tuesdays, we've got Savage Pathfinder. Otherwise, we'll see you then. Take care. Thanks, guys.